All right, our first Snort report for 2021. That should be interesting. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP News. Yeah, it's DSP News. Sorry, guys. It's yeah, buggy intro mechanics, I suppose. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be the first broadcast, official broadcast, if you will, of the Snort report for 2021. I have a lot of catching up to do, so we're gonna get started. Basically, I have 5 videos that will make up this broadcast. The next, I'd say, I don't know how many broadcasts there'll be that'll cover everything from January, but essentially there'll probably be 4 or 5 videos per broadcast until I am caught up as best as possible. So we'll see how that works out. You know what I'm saying? You think a broadcast a day or so, maybe 2 if I can fit it, and we should be caught up within a couple weeks, hopefully. We'll have to see. In any case, like I said, 5 videos that'll make up our broadcast, all brought to us by Burnell. I will have timestamps. I will ask someone to go ahead and put timestamps down for me, and there should be inserts that'll tell you what the video is in some way, shape, or form, or something along those lines. If not, the timestamps will be able to kind of cover for it. Hopefully, you guys are doing well. Like I said, this is probably a long one, as they usually are, because why not? And that's that. Like I said, we're just trying to play catch up. There's a lot of things that went on in January that I'd like to try to cover. Well, I'm going to attempt to cover, I should say. So that's what the situation is. Speaking of which, just for verification's sake, out of these 5 videos, we will be starting from December 31st of 2020 all the way to January 2nd of 2021, just to give you guys a bit of a viewpoint. As you know, the links to the videos will be down in the description. There won't be chewing the fat with GTG, at least not at the particular moment, because I'd like to try to tackle the objective at hand. So that's that. Hopefully you guys are doing well. You know, that's pretty much that, you know what I'm saying? And we'll just go ahead and get started. I'll see you guys in a second.
Play the game!
I have to warn everyone. Warning, what you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting. Sound good?
Alright, sounds good to me.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and guess what? The drunken glitch has happened again. I don't know why this happens, but now it seems like every time that I load the game, I'm drunk. I have no explanation for this. At all. It doesn't make any sense that this would be the case. But every single time I boot the game now, I'm drunk.
I was expecting a snort there. I'm a little bit disappointed. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here with the first video that'll make up our broadcast, brought to us by Burnell, DSP. Let's see. Adult bozo describes his streams, pocketing money clearly from a troll, and Mike bugged mechanics. This was from December 31st. Yeah, December 31st of 2020. The link to the original video will be down in the description. Also, another thing about about this drunken glitch or whatever. I wonder if John and Howard feel that way whenever Phil sends them a random text message in the middle of the night, or whatever the case may be, well, early morning for them. I've always wondered that, because, you know, you got to think, at least for, I wonder how long John and Howard had to deal with that before Phil either slowed down or eventually stopped, which obviously Phil didn't stop. He probably just spaces it out. I'm very curious about that, because you know that shit weighs heavily on his mind. You know what I'm saying? But then again, I'm sure a lot of his failures do. You know what I mean? Real quick monologue, and then we'll get into this. Ladies and gentlemen, we're looking at a person that everything he touched, he destroyed. Everything. Everything. Everything he touched turned to shit. And his only defense was the blaming other people who clearly couldn't have exercised the type of a power or authority to even do it. It was clearly him. He can say he was in a bad headspace. He can say he was stressed. He can blame it on his depression. He can blame it on intimacy issues. He can blame it on whatever the fuck you want. But at the end of the day, you still made the choice. And then you acted upon that choice. You still acted upon that choice. That right there must be something hard to deal with. To know that everything you've ever done failed, and everything that you will do will fail. Even in the short term. Vestreak is a great example of it. If he started that up tomorrow, let's say. Well, tomorrow for you will be different from tomorrow for me, but you know what I mean? It'll never be as successful as it was. Ever. You know what I mean? And then, if you think about it, he's kind of undercut the Vestreak at its own knees, because he's talking about all the chargebacks that he was dealing with behind the scenes, but he didn't want to ruin the momentum of the Vestreak, so he kept it to himself, allegedly. And you know, the majority of that shit, if it wasn't from a whale, they were troll tips. So just something to think about as we're moving forward. Here we go.
You know, people did say this game is pretty buggy, and it's funny because I'm playing Cyberpunk too, and obviously that game is way more buggy than anything else I've played, but it's just fucking bizarre that you boot the game and you're drunk. Like, what were they? I don't know. Anyway.
Honey, it's pleasure.
Well, there's a snort I was waiting for. It was a delayed snort. Delayed snort mechanics, or nasal mechanics, is essentially what that was. Holy shit, that's funny. In any case, let's continue.
My streams to be by the end of next year. Well, this time next year, I'd like to exclusively be a meme streamer, where all I do is like little things for the kiddies. Like I do little dances and I play weird sound effects when certain things happen on the stream. And you know, I don't actually do full playthroughs. Instead, I just play throwaway disposable games and play with other popular streamers to act like I'm creating content. When in reality, all I'm doing is wasting my fucking time.
But the thing is, though, aren't you describing what a YouTuber does, or what you were doing as a YouTuber? At the end of the day, you sitting there and doing a full playthrough of a game means jack shit to what? At the end of the day, if you're streaming, right, and streaming's supposed to be interactive, right, you're supposed to be entertaining, yeah? That's what he says he does. So it's more than you sitting there and just doing potato YouTube mode. If that was the case, then just do that and stop streaming. And what's wrong with collaborating with people? You kind of need, well, it's too late for Phil now, but you kind of need to. Matter of fact, Phil spent his entire career collaborating with people, mainly John, Howard, OJ, and so on and so forth, which automatically debunks the lie about how he did all this by himself. He didn't. Just like Drake didn't write all his shit. Well, most rappers don't write their own shit, to be honest. But whatever. Most musicians in general don't. But in any case, he didn't do this alone. Which goes back to my early monologue about how everything he touches turns to shit. He's ruined everything. And now look at him. He's worse than he's worse off now than he's ever been. But what really fucks him over, and this is something that I've posed to you guys a few years back, is his war, if you will, the great Gouty wars with This Is How You Don't Play. I think he purposely sandbagged his playthroughs to try to make it less and less interesting for people who were doing This Is How You Don't Play. Big ups to all of them. And in turn, he fucked himself in the long run. So you were willing, you thought, to go ahead and hurt these people's bags, right? Or their popularity, or whatever the fuck people get out of this, right? You thought that you would undercut them at the cost of your own content. And then what? So now the content's even worse because Phil has already conditioned himself to treat it like garbage, as if it wasn't garbage already. But he's conditioned himself now to give less and less to it. In turn, to make it less and less interesting for people who do This Is How You Don't Play. Despite the fact that he's told us many times over the last couple of years that he doesn't care about This Is How You Don't Play anymore. And he doesn't care about what you guys do with his content. And now look. Now, in our current timeline, he is... what is he doing? He's playing... I think he's playing Yakuza? Or whatever he's playing. And he's purposely sandbagging that shit. Like, he's sitting there trying to, like, grind and level up all these extra characters in his party, and he's kind of killing off the interest for all the other games that he's playing. Because he's trying to avoid, is it Divinity Original Sin 2, I think? He's trying to avoid playing that. And that's painfully obvious at this particular point. Yet again, he's only hurting himself. And then you want to take shots at all these other streamers who did it all right. I have a whole thing we'll do on that. That'll probably be, it's on the list for one of the up and coming struggle against the grease. You know what I'm saying? Going over Phil's business degree and his blunders, because there are plenty. And I have a pretty good, I have a good amount of examples to kind of go over some of that. So I'll wait to expend that energy over there. In any case, why even try to slap people that are far more successful than you? The very people that you're striving to be like, even though you know you'll never get there. By his own admission, he said he won't. He said that his reputation is too tainted, and other people are in the wings, waiting to bring him down. How much further down can people bring you? If that was true, of course. Just saying. And then he's always saying, oh, they're all punching down on me, they're all bullying me, this, that, and the third, but yet he does this shit all the time. And then he says, oh, I don't take shots at people, I only take shots at them when they take shots at me first. What successful streamer took a shot at you? At Current, there's something going on with Ninja, where he said it's not his responsibility to basically raise other people's kids, I guess, whatever, something along those lines. And Phil is sitting there saying it is his responsibility. Okay, well, fair enough. Actually, I should probably go over that video. Well, I will sooner than later. But, okay, well, if that's the case, when Sidella, who was running around on sock accounts saying racist shit on your chat, was going off and just wilding the fuck out. And I think his name was Jake. Was it Jake Likes Cats or Jake Loves Cats? It was one of the two. When that individual pointed out, that's when we got that infamous line that you brought it up. You're the problem here because you're the one who went ahead and brought attention to it. Not that, yeah, okay, this person might be doing it and I should address it because this is my stream, this is my community, and we need to clean this shit up. No, you're making it becomes a problem because you went ahead and gave it light. Does that sound like being a respectable or a responsible individual who has kids on his streams? Or grown men with the fucking mental capacity of children? You think that was okay to do, but it's not okay for Ninja because what? Ninja has millions of dollars and he's far more popular and he has far more people to, I don't know, manage or monitor. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure Ninja has mods, right? But in either case, because he has a much larger audience and a much larger reach, he has to take on the blunt of that responsibility. But you don't, because you're a small guy in the drudges, right? And you don't have nearly as much exposure as he does. What sense does that make? You guys are both in the same boat. Whether you have 100 people or 100,000 people, you should be doing the best you can to be monitoring what the situation is that goes on in your stream. Because if, for example, Papa Twitch comes in and sees that nonsense going on and they ban your ass, whose fault is that? You let it happen. You could have addressed it, but you didn't. Your mods could have addressed it if your mods were there, and they didn't do it. So someone's got to take the hit, and you're going to be the one to take the hit. As it pertains to Phil, anyway. As it pertains to Ninja, I'd have to look into it more to see exactly what the situation was.
Yeah, imagine if I actually did that. Can you imagine? Oh my god. Can you fucking imagine? Do you remember?
Wow. And then the whole then he's singing songs that most of the people in his audience probably have never even heard of, which is funny. Which is really funny. But the clown mode shit and the gimmicks and all that nonsense, you mean the Colonel Sanders thing wasn't a gimmick? The Bob Ross thing wasn't a gimmick? the vest streak itself, the gunner glasses, the bubbles, the fucking chair spinning, all that retardation wasn't, you know, clown moding for kids, but what those guys do is? Like, what sense does that make? Like, at least with Ninja, like, just to give you an example, when that dude colors his hair and he comes up there with whatever, I don't know, he looks pretty bad these days, but when he does all that, that's him, right? It's not like he's dressing up for the stream and then he takes all that shit off. That's what he is. You know what I'm saying? Or that's who he is, I should say. He has to live like that. You know what I'm saying? Or he chooses to live like that, I should say. What about Phil? Who's the real clown? The person who accepts the lifestyle that they're going with, or the person who does that shit for cheap dollars? You know what I'm saying? And you can think of whatever you want to think about as it pertains to Ninja, but people genuinely look at him and see him for what he is. What about Phil? It's a clown trying to dress up as another clown, right? To use that as a shield. Saying, oh, I don't need to be like the rest of those guys to get attention. But you clearly do. Like, the vest streak was probably, it should be his highlight of 2020. It was probably the best thing he had going on outside of beating the government as it pertains to the bankruptcy. Those were like the two big things he has. And those aren't two things that you should be trying to stand up on and say that you're successful for, to be honest. But whatever.
21st night of September.
Do you notice that he kind of moves in the exact same way each and every time too? There's no variety to it. There's no variance to it. Yeah. God damn.
Oh. Somebody stop me. Play shitty music, then you're gonna rock me.
See, it's like the exact same shit. It's like when he leans back and forth. It's like the same rhythm. It's in the same pattern and everything. There's no variation to any of it. Holy shit!
Here, I'm not a children's entertainer. Have some bubbles. Oh my god. Anyway, so Chill Positive Frog cheers said, I'm glad you stopped being a meme streamer who spins in your chair and blows bubbles while only playing Fall Guys. Alright, that was actually a good one. I like that. That was a good one, Chill Positive Frog. That's a good one. You got me. You rightfully razzed me because I was doing stupid things like that earlier this year. You rightfully have razzed me. And I will accept that razzing criticism. I'm a mature bozo with a business degree. And I have a big honking red nose and big floppy clown shoes. You know, you guys have been asking me for 2 years what kind of car I drive. It's a clown car.
Remember, guys, you want to help me the most, please tip me. If we hit the tips goal tonight, I'll put on a vest for you. Any vest is eligible but the red, because we wore red earlier.
Oh my god, he's drinking gin.
That's another thing too.
Yeah.
Which is one of the reasons why the vest streak got killed off. He needs to stop putting out these stipulations on what vests can be worn and which ones can't. At the end of the day, the two popular ones, or the one that's the most popular, I should say, is the platinum vest or the potato wrapped up in aluminum foil, and that was gifted to him. You know what I mean? That was something that was gifted to him. Someone bought that for him and sent it to him. Who gives a shit what vest they pick? You've already, you know, got your $100 for it or whatever the case may be. So just go with it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I understand that he's trying in a really pathetic sort of way to try to condition them to do other vests or whatever, right? But then if you go back to the vest streak, that's why they end up having to go into overtime more often than not when he really started to get upset and he started to really become really disgruntled over people choosing the platinum vest over anything else, with the original vest being second, and then it might have been the red one third, I guess, or the Back to the Future one, or whatever the hell he calls that shit. At the end of the day, that platinum vest was what was bringing the money in. You know what I'm saying? Once it was introduced, I should say. So just go with it. But he came up with all these excuses about how he feels uncomfortable because his office is hot and this, that, and the third. Well, how uncomfortable do you feel these days? From what I'm hearing, you're only hitting like $30 for a stream. You're only hitting $19 for a stream. You know what I'm saying? In tips, I should say. He's still pulling like $60 or $70 in like subs and bits. But when it comes to donations, you know, what has to go right to the bills, what has to go right to the groceries, what has to go right to WWE Champions time, all that, you know what I'm saying? You're falling short. You're not even making enough to put the goddamn gunner glasses on, which that's something that he's been seeing as of late, where he'll put it on for like 10 or 15 minutes and then find a reason to take it off, saying it hurts his eyes. So why even make it a step goal, if you will, to the vest goal? Just go ahead and remove it all together. Oh well, whatever. Buggy business mechanics, apparently.
I don't think Bill is real. I'm just saying, like, unless Bill's really here, I mean, he's not saying nothing in the stream chat, you know? He hasn't responded. And it says, like I said, he has a PayPal account, it's an unverified account. I mean, someone could have made it in 5 minutes, you know?
Oh my god, he's drinking gin.
Oh, he is here. There he is. Okay. Because I'm here and I am real. Alright, well, it's good to know you're real. I tried to click on your name to see information, but, you know.
That's a nice dig at Kat. If you guys remember to when Kat was first introduced, that was one of her punchlines. Is that, you know, I do exist, I am real. So I'm surprised Phil didn't catch that.
Laptop's a piece of shit. I can't click on it. I still can't. Wow.
Mark McCauley says, hint, hint. Dude, no hint, hint. I'm outright telling you, I need a new PC and I need a new laptop. Alright? That's not a hint.
Your account was created 26 minutes ago. Alright. I guess for now, I'll take the benefit of the doubt, although I might be burning myself here and shooting myself in the foot. Bill, I would appreciate it if you are a frequent stream viewer, or if you're someone who's liking the content, you think you're going to contribute again, please make a verified PayPal account. It saves a lot of problems. You know, it makes me nervous to see one that's unverified like that. It really does.
But here's the thing.
So
him having a verified, whether the account has been verified or not, it doesn't prevent chargebacks, right? So then what's the point? And here's the thing. Why wasn't this step taken during the vestry? Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, he's trying to put up all these roadblocks to try to keep the trolls out, right? Despite the fact that the trolls are what's making all the money. And which leads into something else that other detractors have talked about, where more than likely he was disputing those supposed chargebacks, right? Like, if he saw that there was an obvious troll tip, he went ahead and he still disputed to try to keep it regardless. All those times he said, oh, I'm just going to go ahead and refund it back because I don't trust this, whatever. More often than not, then he didn't. Because most of those tips weren't like little $3 or $4 tips or whatever. Like what like Mort was doing back in like 2017. These are like $20, $50, $100 tips at times. He's not, or even $60 tips or whatever the case may be. He's not going to sit there and let that go. He's going to fight that tooth and fucking nail. And you know he did. You know what I'm saying? And this all stems back to the situation with King Tut. Why weren't some of these steps taken after the situation with Tut? Now, if I remember back in that era with King Tut and Emerald 7, I think he was still using Muggsy at the time. He wasn't even using Streamlabs yet. So I guess maybe Muggsy didn't have the verification or whatever. But the main point I'm trying to make is, why didn't, he's been fighting these alleged troll tips for years. For years. All the way back in 2017, if not before that. Why weren't these type of precautions exercised then? Or even if the technology or the access for streamers weren't even up to this particular point yet, fair enough. But I'm sure there were some type of safeguards even back then. And if they were, and let's say Phil was trying to use them, he was still losing. Like the situation with Mort, where he said he did like 112 $2 tips or $1 tips, and Phil had to dispute each and every one of those. After a while, I personally think Phil lost most of those. I think maybe he won some of them, but he didn't win all of them. So you were willing to go through all of that trouble to fight for $2 each or $1 each 112 times? And this is 2017. You're telling me that he wouldn't try to do that now? For every troll tip? And he thinks that some troll out there, right? Some hater, some detractor is going to be dumb enough to verify their account with their fucking personal information attached to it and donate to him. He really thinks people are going to be that stupid. Wow. And most of the people that troll him, let me add on to that, most of the people that troll him probably don't even charge him back. I can't prove that, but I wouldn't be surprised by it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Giving him $5 to fucking look like a Muppet and shit and fucking have him spurg out on some gold dust bullshit. That's worth its weight. At least some people think that way. I don't encourage people to give him money to troll him. There's better ways of doing it. There's obvious bait that you can give him that he'll respond to without having any money attached to it. But to each their own. But you're telling me Phil wouldn't fight for that bust? He's a fucking hoe, so of course he will. He's gonna fight tooth and nail for all of it, because that's all he has. He doesn't have any other prospects. He's not doing the Twitch bounty boards because he's scared that the detractors will go ahead and rally against him and counter stream him, so he doesn't get anybody to come and view it. He can't get sponsorships, he can't get advertising deals, and the ones that he does get are few and far between, and even then he doesn't do a good job with that. He has no real prospects except for begging online. That's all he has. That's all this is. You know, his YouTube is floundering. What's he at? 700,000 a month in views? It's between 7 and 800. It's not doing very good. And then according to what John and Howard said, in 2015, he makes about $2 for every 1,000 views or whatever. I assume his CPN is probably less than that now. But then again, you have to go off of the premise that Phil was even telling John and Howard the truth, you know, back then. There's so much tied to that shit. But the point being is he has no other prospects. This is all he can do. Can't do anything else.
Anyway, thank you everyone who's hanging out with me tonight. I appreciate that. Thanks to everyone who is supporting the stream. Again, I really appreciate tips tonight to help out. Especially with all the behind-the-scenes chargebacks and problems I've been having with tips recently. It would be appreciated if you could tip me if we hit the tips goal.
And every single person could, oh, that's e-begging. That's not begging. That's advertisement.
You guys still hear it, huh? Alright, here's what we're gonna do.
That's funny, because now, he says it's not advertising, he just calls it its business. All those years of people calling him an e-beggar, saying, I don't e-beg. Now, it's advertising, but now, then it became advertising. Now it's business. It's just part of the business. To beg. To systematically beg. Day in, day out. For pennies. It's not like, ladies and gentlemen, he has, he used to have a $200 tip goal, but then we end up splitting that up into $100 per day. It's not like he has like a $500 tip goal. He doesn't do that. He's too scared of it. And he's scared for it on two fronts. One, it gets his hopes up that he might actually get it, and he doesn't like that. Two, if he doesn't hit it, he knows that the detractors, trolls, haters, and critics will laugh at him for not hitting it. So that's two things that would discourage him from it. But $100 is reasonable. $100, you can have somebody like, I don't know, whoever the current whales are. They kind of just come in and get whale hunted on a regular basis that it's hard to keep up. But whoever the current whale is, he can almost hope that they may come in with that $60 or $70 save to save that streak, which means that the people that are currently watching him are giving him what? Are giving less than 40% of what the contributions are on stream. Let me take that back. Less than 40% of what the contributions are as it pertains to tips. He's still pulling monthly 1,000 plus in subs and at least a couple $100 in bits. I don't have the full numbers in front of me. You'd have to talk to those. You'd have to talk to some of the guys on Detractor Twitter or Kiwi Farms. They keep a better eye on it. You know what I'm saying? But it's tips though is what he's mainly drawn on, because he needs that money right away. And what's he need all that money for? You're not going grocery shopping every day. You're not paying bills every day. You're still collecting a check from PayPal, from Twitch, a regular paycheck from Twitch each month, and YouTube. And trust me, they're not what they used to be, but it's at least a couple of thousand. And you beat the bankruptcy. So all those credit card bills and shit, which I assume were thousands upon thousands of dollars in minimum monthly payments that he had, that's off the board. But yet the begging has increased. You know what I'm saying? The begging has escalated since the bankruptcy. Something to think about.
Since the audio is obviously glitched, we're gonna save and try to reload the game and see if it fixes it. I have no idea what's causing that fucking that glitch audio. That is so odd. Fucking weird bug sound. What is going on, man? Let's just close the whole game. Alright? Let's close the whole game and reboot it and see if it stops it. That is odd shit right there. Some weird bug sound. What? You guys still hear it? Really? What on earth could it be then? Then what was I hearing? You guys can hear it right now. Hold on a second here. I'm just looking around to see if I accidentally have anything open that would be making a noise. No, not that.
Now, keep in mind, when's the last time he updated the drivers for that laptop? When's the last time he updated updated Windows in general? When's the last time he updated anything for that laptop or for the microphone itself? My apologies. When's the last time he's done any of those things? You know what I'm saying? He doesn't even run security scans on the damn thing because he says I don't go online for it, which is a lie because you use it to monitor your streams, which means you have to log in online and you have to log in onto Twitch. Just something to point out to you. So, yeah, that's the reason why shit's going to hell. And you putting all of that money into that microphone is one thing, but if you don't know how to maintain or upkeep it, then that's why you run into these type of problems. These same problems that he had, I mean, shit, all through 2020, because there was multiple times that his mic went out, and he had a lot, I think a lot of it started in like 2018. And like I said, the mic is perfectly fine. It's a really good mic, right? There's a lot of people who swear by it. All you have to do is update the drivers for it. They do regularly update their shit. That's part of the business, right? And that's part of the different types of items, you know what I'm saying, or products that you sell, especially digitally, that or can be digitally updated, I should say. You would think he would understand that, but he doesn't do that to anything. This is someone who bitches and complains when he has to download stuff, download updates for his for his PlayStation or his Xbox. So you really think he's going to take the time to do that for any of his PCs? Just something to think about.
What could be making that noise? Touching the mic. Try muting the mic. I muted and unmuted. Sounds like the game on the microphone is too high. I haven't touched the microphone, guys. I haven't touched it at all. The microphone is a normal setting. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. The only thing I can try to do is restart OBS completely. I've never had an issue with this mic before. And I certainly didn't step on any cables, you know? Weird. Wait, it's fixed? It's seriously fixed? All I did was touch a cable. All I did was touch the microphone cable. Weird. Okay, I'm glad I fixed it, guys.
I mean,
now I know.
It's very possible that it wasn't plugged in securely. It could be a lot of different things, you know what I'm saying? It may be time to go ahead and replace the cables. You do have to do that eventually. Like anything else. Like, why is there some great mystery to any of this? And then, more importantly, this guy right here, he prides himself on this, which is hard. It's actually kind of hard to... It's hard to conceptualize someone being prideful for anything when Phil Burnell conducts himself the way he does. And then you try to add the word pride into that, and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But in any case, he prides himself on the fact that, oh, he has to get up early, and he doesn't really have a lot of time to have a breakfast or just eat breakfast. I don't know why he says half a breakfast. Just eat breakfast. Just whatever. But he doesn't have really a lot of time to eat breakfast. He only has so much time to spend with his wife. He has only so much time to spend with his cat and shit. And then he has to come up here, and he has to test everything. And he has to make sure everything's working before he starts to stream. This mic, and he has to do that twice a day if you think about it. So this mic issue may have been occurring for days, if not weeks, and it just progressively got worse. And yet again, I thought you were doing all this preparation before the stream starts, and yet again, you're truly not, which leads to the situations like this, which only further shows his incompetence. There's nothing endearing about any of this. It's just a lazy individual not knowing really what the fuck he's doing. So by proxy, we're just doing everything at like half-ass, or we're doing it to the minimum and not trying to exceed past that, but yet wants all of the money and wants all the respectability and all the prestige, if prestige is a factor in that equation, of someone who really does take the time to put out the best product possible. And he wonders why people consider him a laughingstock. It's not that hard to figure, you know? But what are you going to do, right?
If it happens again, the cable over here must have an issue. Alright. But the weird thing was, there was a bug noise in the game too. Because I heard it in my headphones. What is going on tonight? There's some weird stuff happening, huh? Yeah, the cable must have popped loose or something. It happens. The cable must have popped loose on the receiver unit over here. Okay.
I'm a fucking bug magnet, dude. Stealth Hunter, we hit exactly $100 of tips on the first stream. The problem was, behind the scenes, there was a bunch of fake tips, so after all said and done, I probably only made about 80 bucks. Yeah.
But you can't prove any of that, though. So how can anybody take you on your word? Which goes back to his whole situation about debunking, right? All those times that he supposedly, in air quotes, debunked anything, he didn't do anything. He just went ahead and regurgitated the story and maybe added some additional details that weren't said beforehand to try to prop up his earlier claims. But that's not debunking. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, debunking is having proof, not your word. You're being questioned on your word. So you're going to go ahead and reinforce it by saying the same thing over and over again and adding to it, and that's supposed to give you more credibility? Is that really how that works? Maybe it does.
I don't know why you're asking me that, because it's nothing to do with anything on this stream. Sir Spartan King cheers. I highly doubt Vikings will be speaking English to each other. Come on, Ubisoft. Why not? Everyone knows that that's their native tongue. I guess better than their native tongue, Pig Latin. We would not understand a word they said if they just did Pig Latin constantly, right? Oh, DSP Gaming did 100-bit share and said Trons. What? Oh, he said Snort Burnell backward. Trons Lenrub. Wow, you're a clever one, aren't you? You're a real clever one to say a troll's name backwards. Why not? Why not Pig Latin? Snort A Burnell A.
Alright, and then I got a fake tip. So I gotta take care of this quickly, everyone. If you could bear with me here, I'd appreciate it. And it's frustrating. I'm tired of it, but the guy won't fucking stop. He's a no-life loser. He's fucking... Again, he just goes back... I think he goes back and forth between, like, 3 or 4 people's streams and does this all day. Like, this is his entire day. The guy can't have a fucking job.
Now, here's the thing. Because I've been thinking about this for a while now. As it pertains to whoever it is that he's accusing of doing these fake tips and buying all these fake credit cards and yada, yada, yada. If you think about it, Phil has used that, or is using that, I should say, as a shield. It's very obvious that there's more than one person who are doing troll tips. And as you heard in Phil's initial response there, he says he has to block them. He didn't say anything about refunding the money back, right? Oh, I got this fake tip. Let me go ahead and refund that back so that doesn't, end up screwing me later on. Oh, I need to block this person from tipping. Didn't say anything about giving the money back, but semantics. I think he's using Superhound or whoever it was who's doing those fake tips. He's using them as a shield. And then just loops everything else that supposedly happens to him and just contributes all of that to Superhound or whoever the guy is who's doing all these fake credit card, these fake tip transactions. It's easier that way, because if the audience can rally against what they perceive to be this one person, this one entity, right? This one evil individual who's doing all of this, it's much easier doing that than having it scattered around to a group of people doing it. Because if Phil can't actually identify those people, put a name to them, then it's just him snorting in the wind. And if anything else, it depletes what little bit of sympathy that he's trying to get from more and more people. And you would think it's the other way around. Oh, if he has all these people rallying against him, that would make people want to support. But it's easier just to tie it to just one single person. He did that with Tevin as long as Tevin was doing it until he ended up getting back on Twitch. Then he don't even bring Tevin's name up no more. Realistically, he can't. At least not in the derogatory way that he wants to, or that he's used to doing. He can't do that now. Which goes back to something that I said in the first struggle against the Grease. Losing Tevin is going to hurt Phil in the long run because he had painted Tevin as the boogeyman. You know what I'm saying? He painted him as, okay, SOK is gone, now it's Tevin's reign, and he's the one who's out there looking to destroy me, profit from me, he's a criminal, he should go to jail, you know, all the things that he had said. Now he don't have that no more. He don't have any of that. And he seems reluctant to say LSB's name. He seems to get very, very heated when he's being restreamed by him occasionally, but he won't bring his name up, which is very, very odd. But then, if I remember correctly too, at current, we're not detractors anymore, we're just haters. That's ironic too. So you're going to downgrade the community essentially. Like they're less of a threat in a lot of ways. He's not calling for anybody who steals his content and profits from it. He's not calling them criminals. He's not saying that they should go to jail. None of those things, right? It's just, oh, they're just haters now. But they weren't haters when Tevin was doing it.
Fucking loser.
There's the salt. The delicious salt. Jewish Kevin, no, contributions are not mandatory. If they were, you certainly wouldn't be here, would you? Of course they're not mandatory. But they're greatly appreciated, like I said. That's how I make my living. Remember, contributions are mandatory and always will be mandatory. Wait! Contributions are not mandatory and never will be mandatory.
Mr. Everyone Cheers said, when are mod applications being open? It's getting ridiculous. Obviously, the mod schedules don't line up with the night streams. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I really don't. Right now, though, I could probably get them to show up if I really needed them, but I'm gonna have a word with them. And be like, yeah, guys, it's been like constantly now on night streams, there's no one there, and then the fucking trolls show up, right? So, I'll have to have a talk with them. I don't know what else to say. See, the problem is even I had a couple people apply, and they couldn't be at night streams. The people who wanted to help couldn't even be on night streams. Like, that's what I need.
Do we have any mods,
yeah, but see, here's
please?
the thing. You told people, he said this, you can go back a couple of years and see this. Anybody who wants to be a mod, give us your availability or when you can kind of come around or whatever, and then we'll work it out. It's very obvious that most of those people became mods. He knew that they weren't going to be available all nights. So you having a pep talk with them does what? If these people have lives or if they have shit to do or they're playing double or triple agents, right? And they like seeing the shit pop off at night, and that's the reason why they don't show up. I'm not trying to put any thoughts out there, but whatever. If that's the case, then that's the case. You're going to have to deal. You're going to have to deal. And more importantly, the nighttime streams, ladies and gentlemen, are supposed to be the chill streams. So why the fuck can't he do it himself? Just throwing it out there. And then he completely sidestepped the whole thing about when are mod applications going to be taken. Like Phil's going to fill out an application for anything or a resume. It's when are you going to open it up for new blood? He completely sidestepped that. And supposedly that's what Only Iced Coffee's been gunning for. He's been looking to become a mod. And Phil is reluctant to do it. And the reason why is because Phil feels that instead of making him a mod, I can keep bleeding him for whatever money he's pulling from him. And his supposedly many aliases for whatever that's worth. So, something to think about.
Mods, please check the chat. I'm playing the game. Mods.
It's like a greedy piglet asking for his mom. I'm sorry, his wife to find out when dinner is going to be ready. That's kind of what it feels like. What an interesting specimen.
Mods. Moderators.
Alright, thank you very much to Shia LaBeouf for another $40 tip, man. Thank you, Shia LaBeouf. I appreciate this very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, we did hit the tips goal for tonight. Sadly, because of all the fucking bullshit that's going on behind the scenes, there's no way that I, made that much today. What I mean by that is, I keep telling you guys, because there's so much malicious activity against me every day, even though I hit the tips goal twice, which I'm really happy for, thank you guys, I didn't even make probably... I would hope I can at least keep 2/3 of it, but I guess we're gonna see what happens, alright? But thank you! We hit the tips goal, that's amazing. I mean, we have like 1 minute for you guys to vote on a vest for me to wear for like another 5 minutes and then the stream is over. So, let's do this. Exactly, Pray for Rock. That's why it sucks. Is you hit the tip skull, but you basically didn't really hit the tip skull. You're right. Even though I hit the tip skull, behind the scenes I didn't make that much. I know a big chunk of this is gone now because of the trolling activity that's happening behind the scenes. It fucking sucks ass. What can you do? What can you do? I have no defense against it. The only thing I told you guys this morning about this, I'm very strongly debating making it so only people with verified mailing addresses could tip me. But to do that, I think we actually have to do something to do with like the mail and shit. I don't know how it works. And I know right off the bat, no one would be able to tip me if I did that until they went through the verification process, which I don't know what it is. So I basically shoot myself in the foot.
Wait a second. Okay, this goes back to Vest Streak all over again. Why are you trying to dox people? Essentially, because this is kind of what it is. Like what he did on Twitter that one time, where he was having a problem with Streamlabs, and he took a screenshot of his donators, their actual government names and shit, and put that shit on Streamlabs and tweeted at them, right? And all the detractors found that shit. They screenshotted all that shit. All their names were found and whatnot, or not even found. He gave it all up, and didn't give a shit because he was more occupied with this whole situation he wanted Streamlabs to resolve. Yet again, same thing. You said that these people are not your friends, that you're only there to entertain them, you're not trying to have a personal relationship with these people or whatever. But why are you trying to get them to divulge just about everything about you, just to tip you? Why isn't he doing this for subs? Why isn't he doing this for bits? You're doing this, like, just throwing that out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then ever since he's done this whole verification bullshit, and you have to have a valid PayPal account and all that, which he can see your information from. Don't let him lie to you and say he doesn't. He can see your information for the most part. Why you've seen how donations have started to bottom out. If anything, he's making more money from bits and subbing than anything. You know what I'm saying? So why are you making this worse? If that's the case, then cut off tipping altogether. But he can't, because he needs the liquid assets to be coming in, that liquid capital to be coming in daily. But he's slowly but surely damming it, if you will, he's damming the tips off. He's literally doing this. And then by saying all this stuff is going on in the background and yada yada yada, if there's someone who doesn't want to expose themselves to you or to the detractors, trolls, haters, and critics, then they're just not going to do it. It's much easier just to feed you subs, and oh well, he'll have to deal with it in a month. This isn't you taking any precautions. And more importantly, if you know they're trolls, why are you giving them credit for it? Why are you putting it up on the leaderboard? Oh, because the detractors are going to say that I'm ripping people off if I don't put it up on the leaderboard. But if you know that guy is an active troll, then why bother? Refund him right on stream like you allegedly say you do, and then move the fuck on. And if you never hit the tip goal for that day or that stream or whatever, then you don't hit the tip goal. But see, he can't, right? Because he thinks that's positive reinforcement. So he needs to keep people believing that he's hitting the goal, despite the fact that when he does hit the goal, no one wants to donate to him. Or he pulls fuckboy shit like this, where, oh, I'm only have to we're getting down to the last few minutes of the stream, so I'm going to put the vest on, but it's only going to be for like 5 minutes. Why don't you go into overtime for about another 15 minutes or so? So it seems like people got their money's worth out of it. Why not that? And here's another fucked up thing that most people probably haven't thought about. Let's say that happens on the day stream, right? Let's just say that, in the last 10 minutes of the day stream, they finally hit the vest goal and he puts on, let's say, the platinum vest. If the platinum vest is put on during the day, that means it's not eligible at night. Unless he makes some special circumstances. But usually it's not eligible for the night stream. So yet again, he's fucking himself again, because one of the key points of motivation to contribute to the vest streak has already been taken off the board, because you wore it on the earlier stream for about 10 minutes. Yikes.
Anyway.
There's still this back here. And it's still in the back of my neck, the back of my head, the back of my mind, and it's always telling me it's WWE Champions time. I love it. I love it. Is a mobile game addict.
We most certainly are. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to throw some music on, be a small intermission, and then we'll jump to our next video. I'll see you guys in just a second.
Warning. What you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting.
Sound good?
Alright, sounds good to me.
The fraud has gotten so bad, alright, that at this point, I'm strongly considering making it so that only people who have verified addresses can tip me. Okay, what does that mean?
That's just madness, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we're here for our second video. Let's see here. We're here with Burnell, DSP, taking precautions against thousands of fake tips and ranting in the middle of a motivational speech. This was also published by Burnell on December 31st of 2020. It's a great way of ushering in the new year, certainly. Complaining about thousands of fake tips. Wow.
I mean, essentially, you have to have a bank account linked. And when that bank account is linked to your PayPal account, now you can tip. If you don't, you can't tip me at all. All right? And the reason is there's so much fraud coming in. I'm not exaggerating. It's insane, the amounts of fraud that I'm receiving now. Okay? To the point where I can't even keep track. I can't even read your contributions on the screen anymore. Remember, I said I have a Streamlabs readout in front of me. And the Streamlabs readout has all of your contributions. You're cheering, you're subbing, you're tipping. I can't even get to the real stuff anymore. Because of this stuff. It's ridiculous how much I'm getting. This ridiculous negative, it's crime. This guy's using stolen credit cards and committing crimes every day on the stream. And he thinks it's okay. He thinks it's a normal behavior. Oh, this is cool, right? It's pretty fucked up. So it's getting to that bad. If this continues in this way, I'm probably going to have to do this. It will prevent fraud. But at the same time, I know a lot of people don't want to go that extra step. They don't want to register their real life information against their PayPal account. Some people are just apprehensive, like they think PayPal's going to steal their money or something. I don't know how they think that because it's illegal. PayPal would never be able to do that. They can't take any transaction that's not authorized by you.
What's that? Anybody remember back in the day when Phil used to sit there and say, oh, you guys don't need to have like a PayPal account or whatever. You don't need to do any of that to donate to me. You know what I'm saying? Did anybody remember that? Now, granted, as time went on, things progressed and so on and so forth. Or you don't have to donate under your real name or your screen name. You can use an anonymous name or whatever the case may be. You remember how he tried to be so accommodating for people who tip him? And you see how it's progressed now into the very reflection of who he is as a person. You're seeing all of the paranoia. You're seeing all of the fear. You're seeing all of the apprehension. He's projecting, right? He's the one who's actually scared. He's scared of the very people who come out and support him daily, whether trolls or not. If anything else, this right here proves that he looks at the trolls no different than he looks at the actual audience. Because the trolls are doing this to get a laugh, to poke at him, to break down his confidence, as if there really isn't any confidence there anyway. But then he looks at the audience as almost to the equivalent of the trolls, haters, and critics, and so on and so forth, because why the hell aren't you guys giving me this money? You guys know I'm in this bad spot. You know that I got my wife and I got my cat Jasper, and you guys aren't helping me, and I ask you guys for help day in, day out, and you guys still aren't giving it to me. So you guys are just as bad as the trolls, essentially. He's kind of wrapping it all up and whatnot. So in a lot of ways, he's safeguarding himself from both groups. Isn't that crazy? It's not surprising, but it's certainly crazy.
So I don't know why people are so afraid. But really, you know, I know what'll happen. If I turn that on, people who tip me now will probably stop tipping me. And that's not good. I need the income. It's how I make my living, you know. But this guy that is committing these crimes is doing it in such a heinous way. I'm not even exaggerating. It's disgusting at this point.
And didn't Phil say in like 2015, 2016, a little bit in 2017 actually, that the trolls don't run his life, they don't dictate, you know, how he's going to live his life or conduct his business and whatnot. And in actuality, that's exactly what happened. He put himself in this glass box to try to shield himself from the outside world and these people who, you know, were trying to ruin his life. And now the detractors, trolls, haters, and critics basically dictate how he's going to function within his own box. He has no say-so about anything anymore. Because he's such a reactionary person, it takes just the smallest act to go ahead and fuck him up and screw up everything. And yet again, it comes back to what I just said, my previous analogy about how he looks at the trolls and he looks at the actual daily stream viewers, right? or regular contributors as the exact same type of people. Because yet again, why are you guys sitting there and not giving me this money when you know that I need this money to pay my bills and to live, basically, right? And you see this group of trolls out here that are fucking me over left and right. You guys have when you guys come to my streams, you guys have a job to do as well, and you guys aren't doing it. So I can't reach out to the trolls and haters, right? I can't lash out at them. So now I'm going to lash out at you guys. I can't give them their lashings, so you guys are going to take it instead. And in a lot of ways, you guys earned this because you guys weren't coming through for me on the daily basis like I need you guys to. Because if that was the case, then I wouldn't need to worry about all these troll tips. Even though he would fight them behind the scenes anyway, and he would still, you know, cry, wee, I'm poor. But if you guys were still giving all your regular contributions, you know, if you guys were still making that $100, then all that would be extra. And I would still bitch about it, but I might let some of it slide. But since you're not doing that, you guys got to take these lashings. Isn't that kind of crazy? Because he did something similar to that at the end of 2019, where he tried to pit his whales and his pay hogs against his pay pigs. He tried to pull something similar to that. But then we had the vest streak in like early 2020, and that kind of wiped all of that away. Except for there was a whole lot of stalling, there was a whole lot of overtime, there were allegations that he was possibly tipping himself to hit the goal. I still believe in some of that and some of those things, because it's possible. It's plausible. He was definitely coordinating with people behind the scenes to have them tip at certain times, which is funny because he said during the Planet Jeff situation, or not, it wasn't really the Planet Jeff situation, but during the situation with Jasper, that, oh, they said that I conned my fan base and all this, and I really didn't, and it was just someone who was a generous contributor who came through with the additional $1,000. I would have told them, you know, about Jasper anyway, and so on and so forth, when in actuality he probably wasn't going to. So, and if you think about the Jasper situation, I'll try to be brief, which means I'm not going to be brief. He's fighting two fronts, because the first allegation he's fighting is that, oh, I charged my audience $1,000 to see my cat that I've already had for, I don't know, a year prior, maybe even further than that. And then there's been some theories that have come about that, what if Phil has had Jasper before Catherine? I don't think that happened, but it could. I mean, whatever. It's all speculation. It could have happened, maybe, but I doubt it. I feel like Cat would have been the driving. Catherine, sorry, would have been the driving force to get Jasper. So he's fighting that I charged my viewers $1,000 to see Jasper, and then the second allegation is, well, he had somebody in the wings. He had his proverbial ace in the hole that was going to come through for the $1,000 to show Jasper regardless. And Phil milked his audience for however many hours that marathon was, just to get an additional $1,000 that he already knew that was coming. That's not completely out there. That's actually a pretty sound theory, given how Phil treats these people. You're seeing it right now in real time in some ways. So that's not too far off of the mark. And you're thinking, and because I've thought it too, oh, he wouldn't do that. He wouldn't, you would have to find someone who's willing to fuck over the community, his community as a whole, just to see Phil profit. But I mean, Phil is like any other fucking stream thought. And if someone feels like they're close enough to Phil where they're a confidant or they're be trusted, then the community as a whole, or the cult or whatever, be damned. They'll be damned. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's very much a pig eats pig world over there. I mean, Goutopia was built on the bones of previous contributors or fans or supporters or whatever. That's what Goutopia was built upon. So what makes this any different? Just something to think about.
I'm gonna have to do this sooner rather than later. Okay? So I'm just being honest here. If you like my content, alright? If you feel that I make quality stuff, you want to support it, you want to see it continue, please consider tipping me, and please create a verified PayPal account. Right?
That's not begging. That's business.
This guy has been maliciously attacking me for months and months and months with no reason. Again, it'd be one thing if there's someone, I just don't like Phil, I don't like because he did this or that. This guy's just a nut job. No one knows who the guy is, no one knows what his intentions are. He's just a piece of shit.
There's the salt. The delicious
salt. But you accuse people who said, oh, I just don't like Philly more, I don't like what he says, I don't like how he treats people. You've called them nut jobs. You've said that plenty of times before. So now the person that doesn't like you, oh, we can give that a slide. We can let that slide now. That's not so bad. Now you guys are even more nut jobs, mentally ill. The white coats need to come get you, you know, because this person made the first "this is how you don't play." Now he wants to come to my house and fucking murder me. Now we're doing that again, huh? Now we're progressing, and we're progressing this way with it. Yikes! Yikes!
Who thinks that he can have power over people. Well, he doesn't. He doesn't have any power over me at all. He's never going to have any power over me at all. I'm going to continue doing what I love and being successful at it, regardless of... This is just the next hemorrhoid on my ass is what it is. The next hemorrhoid that needs to be removed. And it will be. Don't worry. It will be eventually. Alright? But it's just another annoying, stupid road bump. You know, I've been doing this for 12 years. I'm not going to stop. And if this is a precaution I need to take, it's a precaution I need to take. And again, I hope you guys understand that and you know why. And I hope it makes sense to you why I have to do this, okay? So, sorry that I have to. But, you know, it is just something that is a necessary evil, as they say. So please, if you're going to support the streams, please, if you're going to tip, which I really appreciate, it helps me more than anything, please make a verified PayPal account. Okay, guys?
And every single person, oh, that's e-begging. That's not begging. That's advertisement.
Fair enough. Alright, now it's time for shoutouts. I get to try to sift through all these fake tips that I got to try to actually give you guys shoutouts today. Hold on a second, because my window is, like, stretched out, and I don't know why. That's weird. Yeah, so this morning, my laptop restarted itself, and I don't know why. I opened up my laptop when I came to the office, and it had been, how can I explain? It restarted itself. It usually doesn't. Usually what happens at the end of a streaming day, I close my laptop lid.
Wow, he's gotten really bad at that too. He's struggling to try to get these lies out. And instead of just describing what happened, he can't do that. You can actually see him conflicting with it, where he was trying to say, he was going to say what actually happened, but then he has to spit it to make himself seem like the victim and make it seem like it's something extraordinary. Like, you're telling me that you opened up your laptop and all of a sudden it just restarted itself. That's what you're saying. Like, was your laptop on all night? And when it came to whatever time it's supposed to update itself, even though I doubt that Phil has something like that scheduled or timed on there, it just automatically did it? That doesn't sound right. And then what about all those times you ain't spilt water and everything else on the damn thing? The laptop's clearly going to die. And he clearly could have bought a new laptop by now. I mean, Jesus Christ, just off of the vest streak, he could have bought himself a brand new desktop. You know what I'm saying? $3,000-$4,000. He could have brought himself a brand new $1,000, $1,000+. Not that he needs that, but whatever. $1,000 laptop or something within that price range. Some additional peripherals, an additional microphone. Not that he needs it, but you know, just to have one for a backup. You know what I mean? He could have done all these things. That Stream Deck that someone sent him 2 years ago, there's no reason why that shouldn't be in use right now, today, at the time that you're listening to this. There's no reason why that shouldn't be implemented today. And it still won't, because I guess this asshole wants someone to just buy it and send it to him. Because you can't trust him. You can't trust him enough to send him the money and he'll do it himself. You can't have any faith in him to do that. Essentially, I think he's fishing for someone to just buy it for him. And if that's the case, at least for the laptop, if you will, I guess you can buy desktops on Amazon, but I mean, for the laptop anyway, you might as well just go ahead and buy it. I mean, you might as well just put that on his Amazon wish list. Pick one out with the specs that you're looking for and put it on your Amazon wish list and see if someone will chalk the money up for it. Might as well at this point. And then for the desktop, I guess you could say that they would need his address, but they really don't, because that's publicly available. And I guess they might want to ask him what specs is he looking for, but theoretically all he wants, or at least allegedly what he wants, is a desktop that allow him to stream and record at the highest quality possible, which would be 4K. But he doesn't show any interest in wanting to get a 4K or to put his product, or not his product, his content out in 4K, which is the highest he can get it at this moment. Even though most people would still consider that overkill. It's unnecessary. But that's what Phil's probably going to want. And he don't know jack shit about PCs, so he doesn't even really know what to ask for. He has no clue about what he should be inquiring on to get what he wants. So why would anybody take him at his word that, oh, once we get over this huge financial hump of this mysterious amount that I have no clue what it is, right, that then I can start doing upgrades? You mean just like how people try to give him the benefit of the doubt when he got the love seat out of there, and all it turned out to be was that old ass chair from Connecticut, and then him and Catherine didn't even get rid of the love seat, they just put it in the nook. Don't give Phil the benefit of the doubt. You really don't. Just don't. Save yourself the trouble.
You know, the screen, and it goes into standby mode. And then the next day I open it, and I just resume from what, you know, for some reason it restarted itself today automatically. Now, I don't know, it's never done that before. That freaks me out a little bit. I mean, when it restarts, it actually runs better. But at the same time, I prefer to actually control when it's restarting. You know what I'm saying? Like, it freaked me out that it
So wait a second. So
it's
just like his desktop then. He's not actually turning it off. He just keeps it in standby mode all day. I'm surprised the battery hasn't blown out on him. Because, you know, the damn thing is just constantly charging. But I guess since it's constantly on, I guess it could kind of force the battery to stay up. But eventually the battery's going to die. I'm just surprised it hasn't done it yet. Matter of fact, I'm surprised he hasn't killed the power supply on his desktop yet. I'm really surprised that hasn't blown out. So I guess cyber power didn't completely, you know, fuck him over on that.
Permission. I was like, why is it restarting when I didn't ask it to? So I hope that this is not a bad sign. You know what I mean? I hope this is not a bad sign. I guess we're going to have to see.
Yeah, for some of you who are spamming hint in the stream chat, maybe instead of spamming hint, you guys could hit me tonight. That'd be great, huh? You know, instead of just spamming hint, it would actually help.
So here's the thing. I've got to make a change right now. Like, no lie, guys. As I'm sitting here on this pre-stream, what has it been? 15 minutes? Let me take a look. So this pre-stream has been running for, 30 minutes I've been talking, okay? So just to give you guys some perspective, during the course of this pre-stream, 30 minutes I've been talking to you guys, I have received about 30 fake tips.
Oh my god!
Actually, now that I'm counting, it's about 40 fake tips. I'm not exaggerating. This is not a joke. This is not me, you know. I actually got that. This guy, he's here every day doing it, you know. So what I need to do is I need to turn this on right away. I just can't do this anymore. I can't sit here and I can't even read your contributions anymore. This guy is such a fucking no-life loser. And he thinks that it's, like, funny or he has some power over me, which he doesn't. He's never going to get me to do anything. He's a piece of shit, all right? Again, he's the hemorrhoid on my fucking ass. He's the pimple stuck on my butt that's got to pop, all right? So, with all these fake tips, I can't, like I said, it's out of control. So, I have two options here in PayPal. And the option here it says, for items not sold on eBay, which would be everything, because I don't sell anything on eBay, only allow payments from customers with confirmed address. Either ask me or yes. Ask me, I have no idea how the fuck that would work. Because I'm receiving tips through Streamlabs. Right? So, if that's the case, if it's through Streamlabs, right? Then if I hit ask me, does that just mean it's not going to work at all? Right? I don't know, because it can't ask me through Streamlabs. It would be one thing if I was accepting manual payments through PayPal. I'm not. It goes through Streamlabs. So I'm almost having to think I have to just hit yes. I can only allow payments from people with confirmed addresses. And it says it's saved. Alright, so we'll see what happens now. Now it's set up that you absolutely need to have a verified PayPal account to tip me.
This shocks me.
I know this sucks because now I'm going to lose a lot of income. Seriously. Like, I know I'm going to lose a lot of income.
So you're going to go out of your way. You're going to go out of your way doing something that you know it's going to hurt you. And with the option about the whole ask me thing, you couldn't have inquired, I should say, on what exactly does that mean? Does that mean that every time someone sends you a tip, a prompt comes up and it gives you like, hey, do you want to accept this or not? Like, you know, maybe something like that would help you better instead of putting essentially yourself and everybody else in harm's way. That seems like, I don't know, I guess that seems like the more rational way of going about it. Instead of just going ahead and assuming and then putting yourself in a really, really bad spot. When you can tell that your audience isn't very receptive to this. It's clearly that this is something that they're not willing to do. You talked about that in the last video. But we're going to go ahead and keep marching along anyway. And then who are you going to blame for this? This is just like that situation in 2015 where he deleted all of those videos because of the supposed false copyright strikes or copyright claims or whatever. It's the exact same situation. And then he sat there and blamed the trolls and haters. He blamed YouTube. He blamed Machinima. When in actuality, if he had let them do their damn job, or even just inquire into the situation a little more, instead of just being reactive the way he's doing, he probably would have saved himself a whole lot of trouble and wouldn't have fucked himself out of the search engine, the SEO. But here you go. Yet again, making a mistake that's going to only hurt him in the long run. And as the month of January has gone along, you've seen it. You've seen how this decision he made on the, I guess, the 30th of December has trickled down to where he's at right now. And it's hilarious. It's sad, you know what I'm saying? Because obviously a little bit of foresight would have been able to weave some of this out, or at least given him a better perspective. But it's hilarious to watch. It really is, which is the reason why people keep watching it. You know, he keeps saying, I don't understand why people watch detractor content. Detractor content cuts out the pignosis, or at least some of it, and whatnot, and you actually get to see the situation for what it is. And it's avoidable. It really, really is avoidable. It's just his own paranoia getting the best of him. Wow. Just like all of those, all that lashing out he did on Twitter, calling people shills and this, that, and the third, and then years later saying that, or a year later, saying that, it's because me and Kat couldn't spend time because she was on vacation or whatever, and we couldn't spend this particular day together doing whatever, and that's what caused me to lash out on Twitter. That's not an excuse. That's actually pretty fucking pathetic that you even brought that up, using Catherine again as a shield to protect yourself. Stop. You went ahead and lashed out at it because you were jealous of all these people who had this advantage. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about the State of Decay 2 situation, which is also going to be a struggle against the grease sooner than later, because that whole saga is just was hilarious, and it was sad, and exposed him to the gaming community in a way that he wasn't expecting, because a lot of people in the gaming community came out and just cut pieces off of him. They cut pork chops off of him. They were cutting ham off of him. They were cutting off pig feet. They were cutting him for everything. And he couldn't stop it, which is the reason why he relented and took the tweets down in the first place. If he really believes in what he said, and he really believes in the practice, or how the practice of getting games free, wink wink, nudge nudge, oink oink, or getting games early and being able to play them on streams or for YouTube videos and make all this money, if he really disagreed with that practice, he'd have never taken those tweets down. He knew he was just lashing out like some little bitch, and the community came at him and they called his bluff, and he winked. That's exactly what happened. He looked into the abyss looked back, and he blinked, and done. Like a coward, took all of that back. Been propagating that bullshit for years. Finally, when it's out there where people can see it and actually respond to it in real time, completely folded. Like a deck of fucking cards. Just completely and utterly folded. What a coward.
You guys think that maybe it's not a big deal. No, you guys have no idea. Like, tips are very important to me and my business. And now the fact that this is going to severely limit the amount of tips that I can receive because people can't just send me a random tip when they want is not good. But there's really nothing I can do about this. I mean, I'm not kidding. 40 fake tips as I'm trying to do a pre-stream here. This guy is a nutcase. He deserves to be in fucking jail for the rest of his life, essentially, for what he's done. Because every single one of these is a felony. And he's doing 60 per stream or more. That's, you know what I mean? That's insanity. That this guy thinks this is okay.
It's funny how it's crazy and the guy should go to jail, but yet we're going to giggle at it like some schoolgirl. I thought this was a real situation. I thought this was a really serious situation. But yet we got time to giggle at this? Oh well.
Alright. So, sorry I had to do that. And I hope it works. That's the thing. I have no idea if this option will even work. Okay? I hope it works. What I would say is, if you're a regular and you were going to tip today and you have a verified account on PayPal, if you could test it and see if this works, Even if it's as little as a buck, I mean, as more as a test than anything else, I would appreciate that. Okay? I guess we'll see what happens here.
I knew what I wanted to do. Stare at man ass.
Guys, Bandicoot cheers to the year's nearly over. Any inspirational or inspiring words of advice to help guide us to the next year? No. All I can say is hang in there. Don't give up. This has been a shit year for so many people, but don't ever give up. You know, keep fighting. Keep trying to get by. There's got to be a light at the end of the tunnel, right? There's got to be a time when we're going to kick coronavirus in the ass. There's got to be a time when things are going to get back to semi-normal. Things are going to reopen. We'll be able to get back to life as we know it. Don't know when that's going to be, but you got to have faith. You have to have hope. You have to have a positive feeling that things will be better. You have to. You can't just give up and be like, well, that's it. This is as good as it's going to get. It's only going to get worse. That attitude isn't going to help anything, you know? Now, by the way...
That's funny because that's what you say all the time. That these people are ruining my life and they're making everything's bad for me and they're preventing me from doing opportunities or whatever. But, you know what I'm saying? And then people try to say, oh, well, you know, he is continuing to do this, so you have to give him props for that. I don't have to give him props for that because what else can he do? Same thing with Wings. The exact same thing with Wings in a lot of ways. What can Jordy do? He can't do anything. Every time he says there's something else he can do, he ends up talking himself out of it. And now that he's got Kelly, he really don't need to seem to make no moves, to be honest. And as long as he doesn't taint her image, if she does ever start streaming, that's something there's something that could be made out of that. Phil can't even do that now. Phil cannot convince Catherine for the life of her, to start streaming now. Because he's got her so wrapped up and scared, right? That even if she did, she would be sheltered as fuck. She's not gonna be very interesting to talk to. Not without someone spending months on end loosening her up and finally getting her to kind of break out of the pignosis. And the last thing Phil needs is that, because that's what ended up getting Panda to pick up and leave him. The moment that she started interacting with other people outside of Phil's influence, Phil was fucked. And that's one of the reasons why I think he locked down Catherine the way he did. He didn't want her to engage with anybody, you know what I'm saying, outside of his own little control. I mean, Jesus Christ, he really won't even let her talk to his own audience. Which is strange too, because he does say that every once in a while she does show up on his streams under whatever fake name or whatever, or she tunes into his streams. So she sees the bullshit that goes on in the stream chat. Can you blame all of that on detractors? No. So she already sees the nonsense that you propagate daily. If I was her, I wouldn't want to engage with that either if I didn't have to. It doesn't matter that they're fucking suckers. I wouldn't want to engage with that either if you don't have to. It just doesn't make any sense. And even if she did start streaming, she there's going to be some spillover. And if it's not by the DSP community, which obviously it would be, Wings' community, Low Tier God's community, and whoever else. The wife of Darkside Phil is streaming right now. You don't think that's not going to bring some attention in? The same type of attention Phil can't get. Phil would never be able to get that attention, but she could. And do you think that Phil could live with Kat getting 1,000 people on stream on the regular? Yeah, he would be happy that she got partnered and all of that nonsense, but when you look at the numbers, because Phil keeps all of Catherine's pay stubs and everything on his PC anyway. If you look at the numbers compared to his, that shit would burn his motherfucking bacon. He'd be mad as fuck. Catherine is streaming less than him, but yet she has this many concurrent viewers, but I'm kind of strafing away a little bit. She's making X amount of money a month. You know what I'm saying? If Kat really wanted to start streaming, she could probably get partnered in a decent amount of time. But the point being is, after she gets partnered, or even gets an affiliate status, once all those subs and all those bits and all that stuff come in and that shit starts to overlap on Phil, and once Phil goes back and looks at some of the screen names of the people who donate, he's going to get pissed off at that. And then he's going to become resentful to some of those same people who are coming to his streams. And be like, oh, well, you can give all that money to Kat, but you can't give that to me? Well, if it's going to Kat, it's going to go to you anyway. So what's the point? And she's something different. She's something new. She's something fresh. You guys have all heard these same buzzwords that Phil talks about. Oh, I'm doing this thing now, and it's new, and it's fresh, and it's different. And why aren't you guys excited about it? It's new. It's different from what I'm normally doing. But then he goes ahead and retcons all of that by saying, oh, I haven't changed. I'm the exact same way I was when I was popular. Amazing.
realist. And I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh yeah, just, you know, everything's going to be fucking rainbows and fucking sunshine and unicorns. I'm not, you know, I'm not that kind of person. I know that there's always going to be negatives in life. You always got to take the good with the bad. You know what I mean? You got to roll with the punches, and you got to make the best of a bad situation. I know that. And I'm not trying to be one of those overly positive people that fucking is so obnoxious because they're constantly in your face saying, oh, how dare you feel bad? You should feel grateful and good.
What the fuck happened? Like, that was literally like I came out of my little spiel, and then he's immediately spitting bacon grease. Like, what's wrong? Did he see something in the chat that pissed him off, or what happened? You just said things will get better. Things have to get better. Once coronavirus once we kick its ass, once we get back to some sense of normality, which it'll never be normal at the end of the day. Like, it's going to probably be the status quo to wear a mask from here on out. Accept it. Deal with it. Live with it. We're all going to have to some degree. It's never going to be the way it was, but you should always look at the light at the end of the tunnel. Now we're going to go ahead. Now we come around and we start embracing the negativity. Well, if that's the case, doesn't that mean, and in all fairness, that Phil gets mad at people who get early copies of games and are in the in crowd, or whatever you want to call it? Isn't it fair to say that he's really just mad at the fact that they have an advantage that he doesn't? And it has nothing to do with the actual practice of people being sponsored by game developers or game companies to get stuff early or to make money or whatever the case may be. The money thing is obviously one of the biggest vocal points. If you've ever heard Phil's rant when it pertains to early copies and advanced copies and so on and so forth, and review copies or whatever, money is always the staple of all of that. But in actuality, it's all about the disadvantage it's the advantages that they have that he doesn't have. That's really what he's resentful about, more than anything. And here's the other problem that's kind of linked to that. Consider it like a second tier, if you will. He sits there and harps on the fact that, oh, they can't be honest, they can't be this, they can't be that. They have to conform to what's being told, or they just can't say anything at all. So what? You're so worried about what they say, but you're not thinking about what they're doing. Which, if they're not saying anything about the game and they're just sitting there, they're playing it and they're enjoying it for what it was, right? The audience essentially has nothing to taint their perspective. They're just looking at the game, or they're watching the game, and they're making of that what they will. Phil don't ever want to look at it that way. He has to look at it as if there's some type of scheme or there's some type of ulterior motive. It's business. That's what business really is. But at the end of the day, you're insulting the intelligence of the people in the audience by saying they're nothing more than sheep and hanging on the words of the very people who are watching the content. That doesn't make any sense. They can think. Just because you have a bunch of mouth drooling fucking idiots over there, not all of them, but most of them, just because you have that doesn't mean other fan bases do, or other communities do, I should say. And that's what burns him. It's not just the money, it's the advantage. It's the advantages that they have. And so he has to go ahead and separate himself from the pack by being negative about everything, thinking that right there is what makes him different. No, it makes you sound resentful. It makes you kind of pathetic. It makes you negative for the sake of being negative, which is what the King of Hate moniker is really about. It's just being negative for the sake of being negative, and taking in whatever attention he can get off of it, good or bad. And if it turns out to be really bad, where it starts to hurt him, oh, well, it's the audience's fault. I didn't do anything. It's the audience's fault. They understand me, and if they took it the wrong way, that's their fault. Well, how did they understand you and then take that the wrong way? You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, that you said something. If it didn't agree with them, then it didn't agree with them. Pure and simple. But at the end of the day, you said it. So you still have to deal. That still is your fault and or your responsibility in some way, shape, or form. You're sitting here being mad about a business practice that you've shown in the past to be engaged with. Same concept here with that DSP positive bullshit. If you guys remember that old meme from back in the day. He used to say that bullshit all the time, but he never meant it, because he used to rage about every dumbass little thing, or every dumbass little not dumbass little thing, but every dumbass sorry, let's reword that. He used to get upset at every gimmick, in air quotes, that every new content creator came out with and it hit, or it got over. He used to get really, really mad about stuff like that. And why? You don't own gaming. You never really had any real long-lasting foothold in the gaming community. You were popular for a year or two. You weren't even the most popular, but you were popular. And you gamed the system on that because you manipulated the search engine to hit all these different segments that really you had no business being part of. Whatever, semantics. And then you fell off. Once new blood came in and people had options and people had choices, you got fucked. What does that say about you? What does that say about any popularity that you may or may not have had? It sounds like they dealt with you because you were there. Because you were there. And then once some new blood came in, once new people came in and saw that, hey, I can do that too, and I can do that in a different way, or I can just be me, and people will, might actually like me for me, then I might be able to get this ball rolling. But Phil says, oh, well, they only did it for profit. They don't really give a fuck about games. They only did it for profit. And they won't show you the struggles. They only want to show you the highlights and everything. Well, maybe people don't have time to sit there and watch a playthrough. Your views declining and or tanking over the years proves that. I'm not even saying that Phil is the reason why montages started, because I'm not, because that's clearly not the case. But he is an example of why montages aren't bad. And I can prove that too because he did it himself on KO Gaming after spending years of shitting on it and shitting on the content creators who did it and calling people who like that type of content, oh, they must have ADD. You know what I'm saying? They can't pay attention for long periods of time. And that's the reason why they like montages. He's on record for saying that. Only to turn around and do it himself later. Oh well, semantics.
I hate those people. That's so condescending. So let me get this straight. The year's been awful. Everyone's sick. Everything how we used to have life is shut down. People around us are unemployed, have no money. Our government in the United States, at least, has barely had done a damn thing to help us this year. But I'm supposed to be fucking happy about it? Like, go fuck yourself. Who are you to tell me how to feel? You have every right in 2020 to feel upset if you feel this year sucked ass. You have every fucking right to feel that and express that emotion, okay? Every right. But at the very same time, okay? At the very same time, you have to somehow, in the back of your mind, you have to keep some kind of a hope that things are going to get better. You have to.
Wow. Okay, so try to be positive, go into this whole negative spiel that he couldn't even try to fight himself against. Like, he had no choice but to do that. Like, you can hear him struggling to try to bring himself out of it and then try to reinforce or try to back off of that and try to reinforce his previous stance. That's not a good look. That's not a good look at all. But yet you want to call other people mentally ill, but that right there was kind of off. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of off. There's a level of practicality to it, sure, but that's kind of off to present it in that sort of way. It's almost like you can't actually have a motivational speech at all without bringing negativity into it. You need negativity. You thrive off of it, which is what he's done his entire career. Even DSP positives, as I said earlier, was a joke because he couldn't stick to it. Even when people really tried to be positive on each and every one of Phil's videos with comments and all that bullshit, he still found ways to be mad at other people for what he felt were his shortcomings, or the fact that he wasn't as popular as he was in previous years, or why he wasn't making the money that other people had, or why he didn't have the trappings of success that other people have. No detractor made him this way. He did. Darkside Phil is his greatest detractor. He always has been. There wasn't some shadowy organization that plotted against Phil because they found him on YouTube one day and then they just decided to devote large amounts of time to it. He did it himself. He put himself out there like an asshole and shitted on everybody around him for no reason. And people decided to push back. And he's been fighting for that popularity or for that recognition for all these years. In chasing all of that, he's only pushed himself deeper and deeper into the quicksand in a way that he'll never get out, ever. And that's just something he has to live with. But he can't, because this is everything he's ever wanted. And you would think for as long as he's been on the internet, for all the people that he's watched, he's hate watched, on the internet, he would know what to do and what not to do, but he can't, because he can't fight his natural impulse. And Phil's natural impulse is to be negative. That's why he's had all those anger problems that he's admitted to. And all those anger issues. You can't fight what you are. You can try to improve it, but you can't fight who you are. You can try to change, but for some people, they can't fight who they are.
Despair. A lot of people do. Don't give in to despair, alright? I used to be there in my life. I've been at points that were low, low lows, and, you know, to the point where giving in and giving up and not caring about anything anymore, and just like, fuck it, I don't care, I don't want to live anymore. I've been there.
There's still this back here. And it's still in the back of my neck, the back of my head, the back of my mind, and it's always telling me that I'm a bad person. It's telling me that I don't deserve any success. It's telling me that I'm ugly. It's telling me that I'm fat. It's telling me that I'm gross. It's telling me that I'm not funny, that I'm worthless, that I'm a sellout, that I'm a shill, that I'm a piece of crap, that I don't
The same thing he said about other content creators. He's levied those same insults at other content creators who did nothing to him except for be successful. Imagine that. Imagine that.
Kind of positivity. I don't deserve my girlfriend. I don't deserve the love of my parents. I don't deserve to live. And it's there. And it never fucking goes away. Some people say, I'll just go on pills. That's not the solution either. Pills help. Don't get me wrong. You know, pills absolutely help, but they don't cure these kind of issues. They just help to
Pills don't cure a lot of things, but here's the thing that's even more interesting. Why didn't he say, why wasn't the first thing that came out of his mouth is reaching out to people for help? Sitting down and talking to somebody. Why wasn't that an option? Why was the first thing was run to pills? And Phil is an admitted pill popper. You know what I'm saying? Which might, ladies and gentlemen, I want you guys to think about this for a minute. Because Phil used to be on a cocktail of medication by his own admission, right? And that's how he figured to handle his problems and his issues, right? Are any of you guys really surprised that he said, oh, well, why couldn't they just given Leanna, you guys remember Leanna, right? Why don't we just give Leanna a pill, or why didn't the ambulance or the paramedics, why didn't they just give her a pill and leave her somewhere? And let her work that shit out. He didn't say that work that shit out part, I added that. But you know what I mean? Now it doesn't seem so. Now I, for me at least, I have a better understanding on why he said it. Because Phil probably was one of those people where he had to take his medication for his anger issues or whatever, and then he went up in his room and he laid down. And kind of just zoned the fuck out. So for him, well, my parents did that to me. So why couldn't Leanna just deal with that? Why didn't they just give her a pill and let her sit down at her job and let her work her shit out for a little bit and then get her ass back to work? It kind of doesn't seem so. It doesn't seem so much of a mystery to me now. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't. In his mind, it doesn't seem like he didn't. And he still defends it. Oh, I didn't say. Well, no, he doesn't defend it. He just says he didn't do it, even though he blatantly did. I think in his head that was normal. Just give her a pill and just let her sit down and shit and let her work that shit out and then let her get back to work. I think he believes that. And I think he believes that because when he's on his cocktail of medication, or when he was, whichever part that, you know, seems suitable to you right now, I think that's what he does. He takes his little pill and he zones out. And then, by his hoofy fucking bootstraps or whatever, he picks himself back up and then he gets ready to go back to work, and he's even more miserable than he was before he started. It sounds plausible. It sounds plausible.
And help to keep it under wraps. You know, like I said, like sometimes it's the guy in the shoulder, like I mentioned. So maybe that guy in the shoulder goes away for a couple days, but he's going to come back, but at least he's gone for a couple days, right?
All right? And that is completely worthless, because there's always possibility that things are going to get better. There's always a possibility that things are going to flip, and likely they will. In my lifetime, I've seen that. I've seen things that gotten real terrible for people, and then they flip on their heads and get good. So why are you going to throw away the possibility of something so amazingly good coming? my life. I love it. I love the way that things are going. All right. The streams are great. My personal life's great. If I could just maintain this, you know, in the future, things are going to go very well. All right. That's how I feel. That's my feeling. I'm feeling 2021, improvements to the streams or whatever, everything. If I'd given up over the years, if I'd given up, you know, 3 years ago, if I'd given up 10 years ago, if I had given up 15 years ago, I'm thinking of like milestones in my life, negative things that happen, you know? If I just gave up on those times, I never would have got to the point I'm at. Now I have a beautiful wife. I have a beautiful wife. Oh my God, wife, it rhymes. I have a beautiful wife who I love sharing my life with on a daily basis.
You even bake for money.
Exactly. The thing is, though, is why didn't he say that I have this beautiful wife that I love dearly? Or that we love each other? Why wasn't those two things said? Why is it, oh, I have this beautiful wife and we love our life together? But do you guys love each other, though? Define sniff.
The best pet I've ever had. He's so awesome. You know, we get to have these fun experiences every day.
Ow! Jasper! Jasper, what are you doing? You scratched me, man. Jasper, come on.
And I can't imagine not having that or not being able to experience that because I was stupid. Because I gave up when I was younger, right? So that being said, don't give up. It's okay to feel upset. It's okay to call out shit when shit happens. Absolutely it is. 1,000,000%, that's fine, alright? But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't feel that things can't get better and that you should just give up, alright? That's the best advice I think I could give anyone. If that's inspirational, then great. If not, well, take it for what it is and completely ignore it. I don't care. I just hope that it helps somebody out there, okay?
There's still this back here. And it's still in the back of my neck, the back of my head, the back of my mind, and it's always telling me it's WWE Champions time. I love it. I love it. Is a mobile game addict.
I love that part. I love that part. All right, ladies and gentlemen, going into our second intermission. Shouldn't be too long. And I'll see you guys in just a second. He's a mobile game addict. Yeah, you kind of are. Womp womp.
Go for it.
What you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting.
Sound good?
Alright, sounds good to me.
That's bullshit, they were dead. You can't spray from that far away and get insanely perfect shots with a full auto weapon like that. It's fucking garbage.
I smell...
Oh boy. Gout of duty. Oh shit. Modern debunking. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're here with our third video of the Makeup Art broadcast, brought to us by Burnell, DSP, old boomer with aim and perfect reflexes gets destroyed in Call of Gouty. This is from January 1st of 2021. Let's see perfection at its best, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do it.
Salt.
Gee, I wonder if we're gonna win. Yeah, right. Is the fucking heli there? I don't think so. That made no sense. He came in, wasn't firing. I start firing, I'm instantly dead. And then
Here's fuck the fact that he wasn't firing the moment he walked through that door, whether he was a teammate or not, because he's playing he's playing multiplayer. He's not playing hardcore, so it don't matter. Why didn't you just start bucking shots at him? You're not, the moment you saw him run in, you should have just bucked shots at him. He's not, if you don't see any hit markers, then obviously he's your teammate, you stop shooting. Granted, by that logic, you theoretically could be notifying any nearby enemies of where your location is, but that's kind of the risk you're going to take, because look at what happened. It's 50-50, I guess, is probably the best term for it. If not, you're just going to walk in, or he's going to run in. He don't see you doing anything, but he obviously must have known you were there, either orbital VSAT or whatever perks he's running. He turns around, he just starts blasting you out of nowhere. You should have shot at him immediately. And yet again, that's why his reflexes are shit. You see a lot of that in Street Fighter too. You see a lot of that in Street Fighter, but his reflexes are garbage. Like the time it takes for him to see it and then work it through his gouty brain to his hooves, it takes too long. And with that being said, why do you even still play this? The game is dead. Like, let's, keep it 100. Black Ops Cold War is dead. It's a dead game. You know what I'm saying? There's so many problems with it. Skill-based matchmaking has blown that shit all to hell and whatnot. It's a fucking mess. You can't even... It's so hard to talk to a developer or the community manager at Treyarch about that shit on Twitter, because everybody basically went dark. No pun intended. So why are you even playing this shit? No one cares. And you've been terrible at almost every Call of Duty game you've ever played. So what's the point? Whatever. Let's continue.
Oh, he killed you first. No, he didn't. He wasn't even looking at me nor firing. Again, it's not an equivalent connection. For what's happening and what I'm seeing are not exactly the same.
Ah, the salty tears.
That was bullshit. I couldn't aim, so what happened? So the turret pulled my auto aim away from the person I was shooting. I was shooting them in the face, and I couldn't continue to shoot them because the auto aim kept pulling me left of the turret. The game is so fucking shitty.
Whining, complaining.
16 seconds left, just don't die. Chill out. Let them come out. We're in an advantageous position. Just hang back. Hang back and don't die, you fucking idiots. You gotta be kidding me! I was shooting it in the face, it stopped hitting them, but they were able to shoot me through metal. Fuck this game. Fuck this fucking game. No, really. Fuck this game. Wide open, shoot them in the face. Hit, oh, stop hitting. They're invisible, but now they're shooting me through the metal. Fuck this piece of shit. Oh my god. What a serious piece of fucking duty. A piece of fucking complete fecal matter. Are you kidding me?
All you're getting is salt. It's, even now, again, my mouth overpowered with salt flavor.
Right. Complete bullshit. He's just throwing grenades at the ground. I just
now
spawned.
I think about it too, right? He's playing Call of Duty. Call of Duty. He's playing it what, twice a week? Right? Why don't we have 2 Street Fighter sessions a week? Now that I think about it. Because, I mean, let's be honest, this is pure and unadulterated salt, right? So if you're willing to play this shit twice a week, why can't we have Street Fighter twice a week? Which are bringing the most attention in the evening streams anyway, right? Because it's not like he plays Call of Duty during the day, right? He hasn't done that since he beat the campaign. If he beat the campaign, of course. I'm reaching with that. So, yet again, we should just have... I think he should just do that. Have 2 days of Call of Duty, have 2 days of Street Fighter, and then the other 3 days for whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure there's some main playthrough he's playing now that's eventually going to hit the back burner, right? Or going to go to the night stream. So he might as well do that, because he knows he's going to get views for Call of Duty and for Street Fighter. You know you're going to bring in people for it. So why not play it? And that, and maybe, just maybe, if he plays Street Fighter twice a week, maybe we'll see if that actually helps sharpen what little skill he has left. That's debatable, though.
Just took one step to get my bearings. I'm immediately sniped. Come on, man.
Tipping helps me more than anything, guys, so please, if you could, please tip tonight, the last stream of 2020. It'd be awesome if I could hit the tips goal. And every single person could, oh, that's e-bagging. That's not begging. That's advertisement.
How? Again, the only thing that's exposed is this up. I should be doing bonus damage, yet I hit him 4 or 5 times in the face and it doesn't give me a headshot. Yet he just sprays and gets a kill. It's fucking stupid. Why does it not grant me headshot damage ever? It never allows me to get the bonus damage.
It's salty as fuck. It's like pure salt. All you could taste was salt. You couldn't taste anything else. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen.
By the way, Phil, it's called Headshot Multiplier. Just putting it out there.
Jackalese tipped me $50.
What the fuck? Wow, that totally looked realistic and very accurate, right? Yeah, that was great.
Jasper Kitty, get down. Jasper Kitty, get down right now. You don't stand up. He's standing up and trying to push the TV. You don't do that, man.
We've lost the lead.
Cameras live.
I love it. Okay, bad guy, tip me another $31. We hit the tip sculpt. All right. Now, in the 30 seconds I was gone, I sent out 48 messages to known whales to come to the stream and throw about their maritime support, okay? Right.
What the? Ooh, okay, ow. Oh my god. Finally got a kill. That was the same guy, too. What? Dude, he was facing down the stairwell and got an insta-kill sniper shot on me. Do you see how bad the servers are in this game?
It's not the servers, though, because you don't know what that guy's sensitivity is. So, in that, you know, you add aim assist onto that, that shit kind of becomes a bit of a problem. So, you know, and that, and more importantly, he's already breaking one of the golden rules of Call of Duty, is that always assume that the opposition, the ops, your opponents, whatever, are always going to come in sequences of 2 or 3. Always keep that in mind, because that's more than likely what happens. Because there's always going to be someone who's going to group with someone else. That's just the golden rule. You would think for as many years as he's been playing Call of Duty, he'd know that.
Stairwell. Yeah, he gets an insta-kill sniper shot? What the fuck is wrong with this stupid game? I had to drop on them, yet somehow they recovered, turned, and fired first. If that happens one more time, I'm quitting the server. The connection
Wait,
back.
he was facing you though. Here, let me bring that back just to reaffirm that. This is right before, I think. My bad. I'll actually keep the mic on in this point.
Stupid game.
Yeah, the guy was looking. The guy was facing right at you.
They recovered, turned, and fired first. If that happens one more time, I'm quitting the server.
Sorry. Force of habit. Yeah, what are you talking about? The guy was looking right at him. Either the guy was looking out at the window and turning around as DSP was coming into the room. That's more likely what was going on. Or he had came through that window and he was actually heading out towards the door. He was looking right at Phil. Jesus Christ, other detractors must have a field day streaming this bullshit, because that right there was just blatant lies. Like, there is no latency, or at least not in the way that he's describing it. Hurtful. Just hurtful.
The connection's bad. The connection's fucking terrible. It's just gonna keep giving them kills, so I'm not gonna bother with it. One more time and I'm out.
This guy constantly whining. Wah. Shut the fuck up. God damn.
I will say this too. That was a smart move on Phil's part, and he should do that more often. Use your opponent, or not your opponents, use your teammates as meat shields. You know what I'm saying? If you see a teammate running towards a location, run maybe a character or two link behind them. And if someone shoots at them, you shoot at if an opponent shoots at your teammate, you shoot at them and whatnot. Because if that opponent was smart, if that one guy who was coming out of that corner or that corridor, or that entry, if he was smart, he would have let the first guy go by and see if a second guy comes up, which would have been DSP. If he didn't see that second guy, then mow the first guy down. If he does see DSP come by and DSP don't notice him, then blast his ass too. You know what I'm saying? You want to shoot the person that's closest to you, and then shoot the guy that's furthest, because the guy who's already ahead probably won't even hear the gunshots, and if he does, he's probably going to assume it's Phil anyway. So in both ways, really, that situation could have worked out as a 50-50 for Phil or for the opposition. But he should do that more often. Use your teammates as meat shields. That's really what they are, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's a team sport. So if you have to use them, you know what I'm saying, to get a kill, that helps the overall team, then do so. If nothing else, you want to try to secure the kill before they kill your teammate. If you play it like that, it can work out.
Retro Jim Cheese, you think I make too many poop jokes? Actually, no. I should make way more poop jokes, I feel. I think that there's a lot more comedy there that I'm missing out on because I'm very lenient on the poop jokes. I need to make a lot more starting. You know what? That's my third resolution now for 2020. Thank you very much, Retro Jim. You've given me new direction for 2021. All right? New direction. I'm going to make as many poop jokes as humanly possible. That sounds like a plan, actually. Yeah. Do I always poop before I take a shower? No. It always makes sense to poop before you take the shower, so that way you can wash the residual feces off of your bunghole. It's very bad to have residual feces on the bunghole. It could cause itchiness, uncomfortable squishiness, sometimes a rash, and sometimes if you have ass hair like me, you can get these big old dingleberries that hang off of it. You definitely don't want that. So, you know, if you crap before the shower, it makes sense. The worst is when you crap, and then... Oh, I need the vest. You're right, I need the vest. I forgot. The worst is when you crap, and then... You shower, and then you have to crap right away after the shower.
I eat shit.
I see you. That was a headshot. There was no fucking way that was not an instant kill headshot. It's not possible. The targeting was right on his fucking forehead. Come on, dude. This is such bullshit. This is what I hate about fucking Call of Duty. What? I had no chance. Fuck this game. Fuck Treyarch. Seriously, man. Wow, that was fun, wasn't it? That was real fun. Exceptionally fun gameplay. And now I have a bad kill death ratio because fucking Treyarch sucks ass. Not because I played badly. Because Treyarch sucks. Of course, you see on my end I never fired. On his end, seeing the kill cam, I never fired the weapon. On my end, I fired and hit him multiple times. And that's the problem with Call of Duty. They never update the netcode. It's always the same bad netcode. Seriously.
I've definitely matured. I've definitely stopped being the guy trying to cause problems, the guy who's constantly swearing and making immature commentary and jokes on his content.
Austin Alexander visa for 11 months. Excuse me. And he's basically asking, me about the stimulus checks. Alright, number one, I don't know if I'm getting one. I know my wife is definitely gonna get one. I don't know if I'm getting one. Number two, if I get it, great. It's gonna end up going to something responsible like taxes. In fact, in the month of January, I have to pay my quarterly tax payment for the state. That's where the money's going, if I get it.
Well... Okay. So, him making the tax payments, maybe. I'm pretty damn sure he still hasn't paid his federal. This will be like his, what, third or fourth year he's been behind? Because he hasn't paid his federal tax since 2017. If I remember correctly from the bankruptcy, him actually even before that, but certainly around the bankruptcy saga. Sorry, Phil had said that him and Catherine don't file their taxes jointly, so she'll definitely get one. Phil won't because he's making over $100,000 a year, so he's not gonna see any of that. I don't think. But Catherine should definitely get one. So, but yeah, I don't know why Phil thought he would get one. I'm sorry. Like, begging apparently is paying off. So, and that's the thing though too that you have to take into account is that to Phil's credit, if you want to give him credit for this, I think this is something this is probably something that actually burns him more than anything. He is somehow making $100,000 a year begging. He doesn't have a guaranteed contract with YouTube. He doesn't have a guaranteed contract with Twitch. His YouTube content's garbage. I can say that because my content's garbage. But Phil's YouTube content is trash. It's absolute trash. The interaction or the way he chooses to interact with people makes it garbage. His streams are worse. His streams are so much worse, right? Except if you enjoy fucking with him in real time. Outside of that, there's no payoff to that, and that's exclusively begging. And then what else does he have? Teespring? If he even has I think he still has a situation going on with Teespring. Because I think if you're not producing a certain amount of sales, I guess they can kind of put your account on ice for a while. I don't know if they do that or not. But there are some clothing or merch shops that will do that. If you're not making a certain amount of sales throughout a certain period of time, they can choose to put your account on ice for a little while. Because there's no point in advertising it if it's not selling. That makes sense. So, but other than that, that's pretty much what his income is. And then it's Patreon. And that's it. It's really just Patreon, YouTube, Twitch, and then whatever money that's given to him behind the scenes that he doesn't tell anybody about, which clearly happens. And the question is, does he actually claim any of that money? Which he probably don't. So, I mean, Phil's fucked all the way around. You know what I mean? And I guess that you could consider this as a reach. Then again, most of the things you could say I do is a reach. But it's not out of the realm of possibility that he doesn't claim everything that's given to him. It really don't. And now that I think about it, now that I actually take this into consideration, who's to say that those air quote alleged fake tips or chargebacks are just sets amounts of money that he chooses not to file either? And if you put in a request to PayPal, he can kind of sit there and say that. He can kind of say, hey, I didn't get this, or this right here I think is fraudulent, and yada, 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 take it off the board. And it's clear that there are pay pigs behind the scenes that are giving him money, right? That's proven. I mean, Jesus Christ, if this idiot was as honest and transparent as he says, that Streamlab leaderboard wouldn't have disappeared. Because of that, who knows who's to say anything about anything if he has to register any of those donations that are given to him off stream, because he doesn't talk about it. So if he doesn't talk about it, it don't happen, right? Going back to that whole debunking thing we talked about earlier on in this. And I'd like to say that there has to be some type of paper trail, right? There has to be some type of record of the amount of money that you're getting from Streamlabs, right? Or through Streamlabs, I should say, to, you know, for him to show on his taxes or whatever. But what if there isn't? What if it works on like an honorary system type thing where you mainly just fill out your taxes with whatever came in? Like, you have to be honest about it. What if that to some degree is the case? Which, if that is the thing, I'm starting to go on a spiel, but bear with me a little bit. I want you guys to think back, if you don't mind, to the business and state occupation tax situation, which is back in 2017. And Phil was blaming his tax guy for not filing his taxes correctly, and that's why he wasn't paying his state and business occupation tax. But what if that wasn't actually his obligation to do so? That guy was there to deal with your federal, not state, your federal. And here's the thing. How did you think that and I've said this before, how did you think that Cat needed, let's reword that. You made sure Panda was paying her state and business occupation tax, but you weren't paying yours? And then you tried to say, oh, the trolls signed me up for all this business publications that I shredded and threw away, or I disposed of. Well, first off, why are you shredding all of that stuff? The only thing, your name? I mean, I'm sure you've thrown away pieces of mail that had your name on it. What's the point of shredding it? It's already publicly out there. That's the first thing. Secondly, no troll would have needed to sign you up for that. If you are registered with the State Business Bureau, then more than likely any type of advertisements or whatever that are orchestrated or advertised to business owners is going to be sent to you. Pure and simple. That's kind of how mailing works in a lot of ways, or mailing advertisement works. So that would have gone straight to Panda anyway, because there's no proof that his names were on any of that shit. He said that, but let's be honest, there's someone in the house who is paying a state and business occupation tax. So it kind of makes sense to go to her. But I'm going to counter that, or I'm going to contradict that with my next statement. Phil, on his federal taxes, was claiming business expenses. Business expenses, basically. You know what I'm saying? Or he was he was filing his taxes and taking things off as business expenses or whatever. Theoretically, he should have been registered as a business from Jump Street. And I think, honestly, he was just lucky enough to dodge the bullet because Panda was in the house and she was actually paying her taxes. Because it's funny how, he didn't say shit about shit when it came to state and business occupation tax until Panda left. It was when Panda left the house that a few months later, all of a sudden, for some reason, the state of Washington says that I owe them state and business occupation tax. It wasn't until after Panda left when he started saying that. And she must have, and I think she may have stopped making soap around that time or whatever. But if there was someone at that house or at that residence, right, who was paying it, and then all of a sudden, you know, they're not paying it anymore because they're not living there, well, maybe, just maybe, someone would take a closer look and be like, well, who is at this house? Or who's still living there? And then if the state bureau has a contact with the federal bureau, and they're like, okay, this guy right here is claiming on his taxes that he's a business, and these are all these things that he's writing off as business expenses, or he wants to be not wants to be, or stuff that he's writing off as exemplary, like items or whatever, right? Then the state's probably looking at it like, well, wait a second, where's our cut of that? Because if you're operating a business in this state, you got to pay us. So, and you're not paying us. You've never paid us. And if they went ahead and sent him a document saying, hey, you owe us state and business occupation tax for the last 3 years, they already knew what the amount was that you owed. Because they would have had to, because the state and business occupation tax department would have had to go through somebody, more likely someone with the federal government, to find out what you were making, so they can decide how much so they can calculate what they owed in tax money. Which means when Phil made that announcement and he was going back and forth with these people for about a month, maybe 2, it's a Mr. Huff Stuff video, where I think it's like, I'm not a business. I'm not sure if it tells the full story, but I'm sure it's close enough. If not, it might be in a David Davison video. He talks about he was going back and forth with these people for about a month or so. Actually, Phil made a solo video about that too. But Phil said that he was going back and forth with these people for a little while before he basically had to conceive that he owed them this money, which means these people knew exactly how much money he owed. But when Phil told his audience, he said, oh, they got to keep calculating. They got to keep calculating. I'm not going to send you a notice that you owe me money without knowing exactly how much money you owe. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And nobody with any common sense would sit there and go upon that. Well, would go off that and believe that. That doesn't make any sense. This idiot knew exactly what he owed. Semantics, though. Sorry for going off on that little tangent, but it's just something that I've been thinking about for a little while now.
If I get it, that's where it's going directly. Okay.
This guy is 1,000,000% a pathological liar and a sociopath.
Oh my god, the guy's just fucking sitting there? Seriously. Oh my god. Losing A. Losing. I'm firing directly into his face, and the game says, no, he insta-killed you. No, the game sucks, it's laggy. Fucking garbage game. Instantly, what am I supposed to do? I have no chance to react, you're instantly dead. Fuck this game.
There's the salt! The delicious salt!
Again, aim assist. I tried to look straight ahead and shoot the guy. The aim assist made it go up because that's where he was. But because he fell, the gravity goes faster than you can move when you're looking down the sight. So because the game snapped me up, I had no shot.
Though I don't recommend it, he could take aim assist off. I don't recommend him doing that, but he could do that. Oh my god, it would be so much salt if he ended up doing that, though. Someone should recommend that to him one night.
Okay, it was at least 6 to 7 hits of that point blank without any damage dealt. And then I instantly died. Right, whatever you say.
What about right there, though? I mean, you were able to snap on target and shoot that guy, so what happened? It sounds to me like a whole lot of spray and pray. But honestly, though, too, in close-knit engagements like that, he should be hip firing anyway, and then bring it into to line of sight. But he should be hip firing when he's going into engagements like that, especially if you're just gonna kind of run around like a mindless idiot like that. You better be hip firing. If not, I mean, it would better his chances. That's all I'm saying.
Whatever you say.
The Italian, I don't know. That Italian is pretty damn salty. Whoa. Alright, that was a really poor choice, right?
We've fallen behind.
Burn in hell, Burnell.
Extra crispy bacon.
Now I'm gonna burn in hell for the rest of eternity because of it. You can't change who you are, I guess.
Dude, what is happening? There's a million explosions. What the fuck? Dude, I can't survive more than half a second. People shooting at me the moment I spawn. What the fuck? Now someone else spawned. This is what I mean. Now I'm 15 and 16 because of 3 bad bullshit spawns putting me at a disadvantage.
Alright, guys. I think that's enough for me. You don't want to see me, you know, crying like a fucking baby here. Oh. There's still this back here. And it's still in the back of my neck, the back of my head, the back of my mind, and it's always telling me it's WWE Champions time. I love it. I love it. Is a mobile game addict. Feel it.
I never get tired of hearing the mobile game addict thing. It's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. In any case, all right, ladies and gentlemen, going into our next intermission. I will see you guys. See you guys in just a second. Oh, that's so good. That's so good.
Now let's play the game!
Warning. What you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting.
Sound good?
Alright, that's... sounds good to me.
Welcome to the new year, everyone. Please, if you can, please create a verified PayPal account. Now, you're going to see morons in the chat like Order66 Survivor, who I just banned for being doubly an asshole this morning, saying, oh, but then Phil gets your address and your docs. Fuck off. No, that doesn't happen.
Why am I toxic? More toxic, more toxic.
PayPal does not give out your personal info if you create a verified account. If they did, they would go to jail. You can't just give out...
Even though Phil leaked people's real names through Streamlabs on Twitter, he didn't go to jail. Semantics. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here with the fourth video to make up our broadcast, brought to us by Burnell DSP, starting the year with maximum toxicity, thousands of excuses in Street Fighter, and changing vest. This is from January 2nd of 2021. Link will be down in the description. Back to that new year DSP positive, as we call it.
People's personal information. In fact, under the law, it's their responsibility to protect your information. All right? So just because you created a verified account, no, I don't see your mailing address. No, I don't get to see your bank account information. All I get to see is your public info, like your name you created when you registered for PayPal. I see that. That's it. And then it tells me if your account's verified or not. So don't listen to these idiots who basically want to do stuff and talk shit to try to deter you from doing the right thing and creating a verified PayPal account.
So okay, how many different verifications has he asked for so far? He said, I want, first verify your account. Now he wants your account to be verified through your address. Like, how much more verification do you need? And how much of this information does he really get? Because he's told us before that when trolls send him fake tips or whatever and he tries to dispute them, he has to send PayPal all of this information to verify what he says is correct, right? To back up his claims. So how much information? And then remember when he said that allegedly PayPal was conducting some type of investigation for fraudulent activities that was being used against his account, and they came to him and he had to provide all of this information to back up the claims or whatever. But that doesn't make any sense, because if essentially PayPal is the payment provider, right? They're the middleman. Why would they need to go to you for additional information when essentially whoever it is that was donating to you had to go through them, had to go through their services. So what they exactly need to go to you for in that situation, in that investigation, I should say?
Everyone is safe. Don't do that. Don't listen to the morons. All right. Now this fucker.
Sorry,
is
I
not
think the
coming
word
back.
I was looking for was payment processor. I think is what I was. I think that's the proper term for what PayPal is, but whatever.
And I use that negativity, I use that toxicity to fuel me, right?
Because he did
Look
that.
how he grabs his little hoof. This is how I fuel myself, right? That's amazing. That's the funniest shit ever.
Twice today. First, he made up shit earlier, and now he does it again, so good riddance to bad rubbish. In the new year, we're sweeping up the place. You can call me the sweeper. I'm coming through with a broom and pushing out the garbage so that the good people here can have a good time on stream. So, har, 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 that was real funny, wasn't it? Tough shit, you ain't coming back. Alright? So, that being said, everybody, thank you to anyone who's considering contributing. Over the last week, since I started talking about this, a ton of longtime viewers and supporters have created verified PayPal accounts and supported the streams. AJ, I've had enough. My God, you're so ignorant. He says, why don't you just use thumbtacks on the wall and put up a poster board? Fuck off, okay? I mean this now. Happy New Year. Fuck off.
And then you people, Phil's a toxic streamer. No, you tried to make me look like that.
You don't know better than...
You see how that reactionary attitude that he does has come back to bite him? And it's funny because Phil can't ever deny that, because Phil's always told you, oh, I'm a reactionary content creator, right? I'm a reactionary streamer, and so on and so forth. Well, the way you react to the video game or to what's being said in that video game is exactly how you react to people in the real world, which is the reason why people think he's so fucking out of touch with reality. But on top of that, and as I've said earlier, you can't deny who you are and what you are. So when you can't sit there and say, oh, it's not my fault that I act this way, you people make me do this, you people are the ones that put me in that situation. When does self-control become a factor in the situation? If you know you're being trolled, right, then you would do anything and everything in your power to react in the way that people want. That's what he tells his audience. Don't feed into the negativity. Don't feed into the trolling and whatnot. Just ignore them. But why can't he do it? And he's the one who's the main target. If the rest of the pay piggies start getting riled up, right, in the pig pen, that's whatever. But you're the one that people are looking to get the reaction out of, and you're feeding into exactly what they want. And after all these years, you still haven't figured that out yet? You made the same mistake on Blip. You made the same mistake on you made the same mistake on YouTube, Blip, then YouTube again under Machinima. You did this under Curse. Like, you still ain't figured this out.
me. I have soundproofing foam behind me on the fucking wall, you idiot. Shut the fuck up. You're so annoying. Jesus Christ. Every moment I'm on stream, some know-it-all idiot thinks that they know better and they're second-guess everything I say and do. He could have just used thumbtacks to put up a green screen behind... Shut the fuck up. You're an idiot. Alright? You're the first idiot of 2021. Congratulations, AJ. You've earned that distinction. Now let's all laugh and point at the idiot. What a fucking idiot. God damn. Just shut up. No, the foam can't be moved. The foam is glued to the wall. That's why it never falls. You're not aware. The foam has been glued to the wall. If I were to take this off the wall, I would basically destroy the foam.
Why the fuck did you glue soundproofing to your wall? I thought they nailed it to the wall. They glued it? Oh, well then again, if you think about the vest rack, he didn't actually, you know, get a power drill and drill that into the wall or hammer it either. They used some adhesive for a coat rack. Okay. Okay.
I have to buy new foam and fix it somewhere else. Can't do that. Alright?
Pig Boy Oink Oink doesn't care about anything but personal profits. That's fucked up.
Since it is the first streaming day of 2021, I would appreciate it if you guys could maybe help me hit the tips goal. We didn't hit it earlier. I was very, very shocked. We did not hit the tips goal for the first stream of 2021. It's not that big of a deal, but at the same time, you like to start off strong, and maybe tonight we can see the first vest of the new year.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just received a $100 tip from Jax Raxer, and it is legit. Whoa! Whoa, there's a whale! A giant whale! That's cool, there's a giant whale.
Go for it. Oh, I was the super of the wrong super. What? What? Oh, you can't block me? I don't even know what to do here. I seriously don't know what the super is. I don't know what that super was at all. I thought I had the one that was the punch combo super. I don't know what that super is, so.
4th place at EVO, top player of Street Fighter 2 that year overall in the country.
Someone just asked, can we get tip notifications back, ladies and gentlemen?
If he's talking about the punch combos, he's talking about the one where she hits you low and then hits you with those combinations and then hits you with almost like that uppercut type move. If that's the case, you can't mash that for additional damage, if I remember correctly. So what the fuck are you mashing for? Pressing buttons just to press buttons, apparently. If I, like I said, if I stand correctly, because I don't think you can mash that for additional hits. Whatever. I mean, there's a follow-up you should be trying to go after, but Phil wouldn't know anything about that.
We have to see what's going on. Like I said, I just instituted some changes to see if we could stop trolling tips. I don't think it has 100%. I think it's definitely cut down on them, but I don't think it has stopped them yet.
Oh my god, he's drinking gin.
Ultimately, what we would have to do, is test and see how this works and see how long we can go without a lot of, stupid shit going on. I know you guys like having different notifications for different things. I like having the tip notifications, but let's see what happens, alright?
Oh, I'm trapped now. Nice move. No fireball, that sucks. I need the fireball to get out of the corner. Oh, he punched it! No, he got me! He got me. I knew he was gonna do it. I knew it was a matter of time. I was like, he's gonna do that fucking super, and if I'm in the right range, I'll be able to counter hit him, but now he got me. He blasted through.
I mean, you
No,
weren't
I
going
don't
to do it where you were at, because either you were throwing... By the time dude closed in on him, Phil was resorted to either throwing out a limb that was immediately going to get him fucked, or he was going to throw a fireball, which was going to immediately get him fucked, because the guy was going to be able to super would blast through it. So you weren't doing really much of anything to keep him out. I mean, at first I thought maybe that guy was going to end up getting busted down because some of the additional damage he was taking for no reason. But even then, Phil wasn't capitalizing on it. Like, at first, Phil was starting to move forward because the guy had less life than he did, and I thought he was going to kind of close in on him. But then he saw that the dude's reactions were too good, or whoever. He saw the person's reactions were too good, so he started to back off. And then it became kind of a slow grind to the end. Oh well, that's what happens when you're a pattern player, though, too. Like, you start running out of options, you stop being able to think outside the box because you're used to playing in a certain type of manner, and then you just get beaten doan.
Pokemon or any other streamer? What's a stupid question? Yes, I watch all Pokemon's high-level Super Turbo streams. My favorite streams. Totally on my level of interest. The fuck, man?
You guys are like 10 years old. All my viewers are children. Everyone knows this. That's what everyone says, is that all my viewers are young children.
Go. What the fuck? Can't block. No! I couldn't move. Are you kidding? Oh my god. Corner only, stupid random juggle hits.
That's funny too, because Phil plays Hugo, so he should have a better understanding of how the range and everything worked with his moves. Like, he was jumping at that dude like this was day one shit. Like, he had no clue what was going on. You should know better. You should know better. Wow. Hurtful. Just hurtful.
Now, I had no idea what I was doing. I was trying to fuck around and failed. Now I'm not picking her anymore. Now I'll pick someone I can actually play with.
And the trolls have arrived, I told you. So that's the end of our fun for tonight. Now I'm going to have to go try to find another lobby with only 3 people so that we can fill it and not have the trolls come in. Fucking
So
annoying.
he admitted to running around looking for lobbies to hide in and whatnot so he can avoid people. That's so sad. That's so sad. But then again, it only reinforces why he'll never go on to, like fight Cade or anything like that. He'd be completely fucking outclassed, completely. You know what I mean? Like the people who play this, if they have access to fight Cade, that's where you go. That's like the real like that's where the best of the best go. Like a lot of the old heads who still play Super Turbo, a lot of them play there. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like the difference in let me use Call of Duty for example. It's the equivalent of multiplayer and then league play, if you will. Like Fight Cade is league play. That's where everybody goes, like the real like hardcore players go and play and whatnot. Don't get me wrong, it's still a great learning ground too, but that's where guys really, go for all that. You know what I'm saying? You can find, don't be wrong, as you've seen, Phil has run into really great competition on console, and that's what he's comfortable with, but then he's run away from them too. So what good is it? So he's not even trying to learn. We're just going to be stagnant with the same stale ass know-how that he had from 15, 20 years ago, and look at where it's getting him. He actually proves that he was only a mediocre player back then. He really does. He didn't age like fine wine and shit. More like vinegar or whatever else.
A good time too. All right, sadly I gotta leave the lobby now because Jose has ruined it for everyone. So now I gotta try to find another lobby with 3 people in it that I can join, and we'll now have a troll. There you go. All right, well we lucked out and found another one. So here we go.
Oh, and Return to the Gaudiseum will come back. I don't know what week I'll start, but eventually we'll pick that back up, and so on and so forth. So that'll be a thing. It'll come out let's see, Phil does this on Fridays, so that would come out the following week, maybe I don't know, sometime early in the week or something like that. I'll figure out when I'll start it, and then we'll go from there. It'll be fun. It'll be fun.
No, that's bullshit. I parried the kick, and then I should have timed it to anti-air right, but his move came out super late. Thank you. Finally, I got a move. I don't know why I'm getting hit, because I'm not attacking or doing anything. He's just kicking me from mid-range with that stupid air kick. I'm not doing anything. I'm not attacking. This person is just basically
wow. Chaos Wolf actually kind of conditioned him there a little bit. If you saw, Phil actually mentioned it too, where he's like he can't really get in because of that air kick that he was throwing out there. But also, like Phil wasn't really making any. He wasn't making any gains, if you will, with that fireball game on the ground either. And like, dude kind of made Phil scared to come in there for a little bit. That's kind of funny. And when he did, he kind of got punished for it. It wasn't crazy damage, but it was enough to keep Phil on his hooves, on his tippy hooves, if you will. The Detractor FGC continues to progress. Well played. Well played.
And I can't block them because of the lag. So every time she jumped into that really floaty air kick, I wasn't ever attacking. It should have allowed me to either block or parry and then counter hit, and I couldn't ever do it. So she got away with a bunch of super duper unsafe mid-range just jumpy floaty kick. Couldn't do anything because of fucking lag on. That sucks, man.
With this salt flavor. Ugh.
Look, it just stuffs everything. It seriously stuffs everything. Look at that stupid combo. Wow! I don't know how to do supers at all.
Chaos Wolf had a great night. He took him in third strike, and he took him in Alpha 3. And as Burnell said, he's absolutely correct. Different games, same results. Yikes.
I don't remember. I know the movements for Alpha 2. I don't know his movements for Alpha 3. Another stupid thing. In Street Fighter Alpha 2 to Alpha 3, they changed all his fucking super moves. It's the same. They look the same. They changed every input.
He quit the room, dude. He's so embarrassed he quit the fucking room. He's like, fuck this shit. God damn, that's bad.
So every move's a different. Why? Everyone knew what they were from Alpha 2. Let's just change every move from Alpha 2. Imagine if it's from Street Fighter 2 to 3, Fireball was a backwards motion now. What? Like, this is what they did. They did that with Rolento. They changed all his shit. Like, what the fuck did they do that for? It's so stupid. But anyway, that's Alpha 3 for you. I hate the fucking game. Alright, here's a lobby here.
Almost completely made up for the fact that we didn't hit the tips goal earlier today. I appreciate that, guys. Thank you for your support. I'll be streaming at least for another 45 minutes. Admittedly, I'm getting very hot in this vest. So I think I'm going to take it off and maybe even swap it to a different vest because I'm sweating profusely in this thing.
Yo, so he really did do that. So, wait a second. So, they paid you $100 to wear this vest for the stream. And you could just exercise whenever the fuck you feel like, you know what, I don't want to wear this vest now. I'm going to go ahead and grab a new one. Just like how they pay him $50 for the gunner glasses, and he'll take that off whenever the fuck you feel like too. That's lame. And see, the thing is he already has your money, unless you're going to charge him back. And in turn, if someone did charge him back, they'd be valid to do so, because he's not living up to the obligations. He's not living up to his obligations. So in actuality, no one's sitting there. Well, it could be surmised that no one is sitting there trying to rip him off. You're literally ripping people off. You sit there and you fucking wear the vest and shut the fuck up. Matter of fact, he has what, a space cooler in there, or like one of those industrial type fans or whatnot. Turn that bitch on, if that's the case. But whatever, you were paid to do this. You do it. You got your money. You just said that you guys didn't hit the vest goal earlier, so you're very appreciative that you hit the vest goal now. Then you're going to spit that in their face by taking it off and switching vests. Wow.
See, I'm wearing exactly the same vest. I didn't even change vests. I just put on a different one. I took it off and wiped down the sweat and put this platinum vest right back on. So there you go. No, in reality, this vest is the lightest vest I have, and I like wearing this one, especially when I'm overheated. There's no way I keep wearing that other vest. I'm sweating profusely. My back is completely soaked. It's gross. So.
Look at all the children on the stream tonight that are just being constantly scammed by it.
Thank you. I can't get the... Oh, you see that? I can't get a chicken wing. No flame kick. No flame kick again, dude. I can't get it. What? Yeah, it's too delayed. I can't get flame kick. She keeps doing unsafe moves. I was like, reversal flame kick, reversal flame kick. I couldn't get it. I kept getting stuffed or getting light kick instead of flame kick. That drill is completely unsafe. You can flame kick right through it, but... Stupid online lag.
The king of lag. Well, everyone in the stream chat saying, oh, lag, salt, lag, salt, lag, salt. Hilarious.
Jerkstar, I'm not going back to college. Are you out of your mind? Fuck no.
Yeah, let's not do that. Furthering your education and bettering yourself is probably just not something in Goutopia law. As it pertains to that Cammy fight, why weren't you breaking all them throws? Like, he's lucky that they weren't spamming, if you want to call it that. They weren't spamming Roundhouse or Fierces, because he's definitely not going to be able to do much about any of those. And that would put him in just enough block stun to continue to set up throws. He talking about trying to get that flame kick out. I mean, and then he complained about that chicken wing. He's always had a problem with that chicken wing. There are plenty of restreamers who you've seen that on, so that is what that is. But he's never really been that great on getting that flame kick out either. He messes up the motions on that. He's admitted it. So yet again, why aren't you using any of your normals to keep her out and breaking throws? You need to start breaking some of them throws.
I'm never going back to school. Established, like, institutionalized education has been the biggest waste of time and money in my entire life. I learned more in elementary and the first 2 years of high school than I ever learned in university. And university was the most expensive school I ever went to. I would never go back. It's a complete waste of everyone's fucking time.
Sorry, I'm trying to be responsible here. I really feel this actually could hurt
But
children.
in truth, though, he's actually kind of right about college, at least as it pertains to him, because it was a waste. His business degree is bullshit. Whatever financial classes that he ended up getting definitely didn't help him out. It was an utter waste of a scholarship, or a partial scholarship, if I remember correctly, and his parents' money. They really did waste their money on getting this dude a degree that he never had any intention of using. You know what I'm saying? Every job that he got was because either it was something, well, mainly because of his parents, I should say. The best job that he ever had was because of his parents. You know what I mean? that banking job, he must have known somebody because he actually used to live with somebody, or used to live with two people who worked there too. So he must have been cool with them on some level, so they probably helped him get the job. And then he talked his way out of that job, which is hilarious. It was hilarious. So yeah, just about everything he's ever had was given to him, you know, by the good graces of somebody else. He's never really done anything on his own. Something to think about.
You're better off learning shit by yourself, of course, and you still won't get a job, because you need to not only have a degree, but you need to know people to get into the job field for this shit, which is really fucking stupid. Just like everything in life, yes, there's a skill element to it, but sadly it's all about who you know and whose ass you fucking kiss, so. Jerry Charity said, do you ever think the other people who lose to me lose because of lag or drop inputs? Yes. I've even called it out. I said, damn, he missed his combo. Damn, that was perfect opportunity for him to win, and you didn't get it, or, you know, oh man, he missed his opportunity. I say it all the time. The online collection stinks.
I've never heard him say that. I've never heard him say that at all. He usually just chuckles and stuff and then looks back at the chat. When have you ever heard him give props and say, oh wow, if he had gotten this out, you know, he would have won? No. I've heard him lose and say, oh, he was going for this and they gave him this instead. He got lucky. Oh, he wasn't putting in the motion for that super, but the collection just gave it to him anyway, and that's why he was able to win. I remember hearing bullshit like that. Pepperidge Farm remembers hearing shit like that. I damn sure don't remember hearing him giving props and saying, oh, if he had gotten this out, he would have won. No, I've never heard Phil say that. Not a day in his life. Not a day in his life.
Really does. The hell are you guys talking about? Now, like, no one is talking about the game at all.
At best, I've heard him say that it was close. It was very close. But I damn sure have not heard him, you know, be complimentary like that. But then again, I haven't watched all of it either, so it is what it is.
I hope they're not going to show breastfeeding. I don't want to see... Oh my god.
Look at us.
I didn't need to see it. I know it's natural, but I don't want to see tits on the fucking game. Stop doing that!
They have to do to keep her alive. What are we to do?
Stop it!
Fucking bullshit to you. I parried! Are you kidding me? It gave him a free move. I couldn't do anything after my own parry.
Sorry, I just thought about this. He has a problem with that breastfeeding scene, right? Whatever, that's part of Phil's pignosis on himself. But if you think about it, his mother has been financially breastfeeding him pretty much his whole adult life. Well, certainly all of his life, but certainly in his adult life. You know what I'm saying? His mother has been financially breastfeeding him, and he don't see no problem with that? You don't see a problem being 38 years old? You're damn near 40. You're damn near 40, and you still have to go to your parents week in, week out, or month in, month out, however that works, to get financial assistance from them. And then another thing I have a question about is, do you claim any of the money that your parents give you year in, year out on your taxes? I mean, the same taxes that you're not paying. How does that work? Is that just a gift between you and her and you don't say nothing, even though it's obvious that's thousands upon thousands of dollars? I would assume it's tens of thousands of dollars each year that they shuttle out to him. How much of that shit is he claiming? And has none of his fan base thought about that? He's admitted that, hey, I've had to go to my parents for money. So he has yet again, there is another monthly financial revenue stream that he gets each and every month. Why the fuck is he still begging to you guys day in, day out? How the fuck does he not have money for groceries when his parents send him money each and every month? Maybe even twice a month, for all we know, because he talks to them every week. So I assume every 2 weeks they probably send him money. Just something to think about. It's just something to think about.
Wow. There's nothing I can do. There's nothing you can do against that. Seriously. Not online, especially because I don't know how to play with fucking Dudley at all. So, alright. I guess I lose. At least I lose when I don't know what I'm doing, right? At least it wasn't I was using a top tier character and I lose a character I don't know what I'm doing with, so.
Thank you guys for a great stream. No trolling, right? Jose tried once, but I actually got into 2 lobbies where, actually it was 3 lobbies, right? 3 lobbies where I was playing people pretty, you know, legitimately, you know, matches, pretty good matches. No! There's still this back here.
and it's still in the back of my neck, the back of my head, the back of my mind, and it's always telling me it's WWE Champions time. I love it. I love it. Is a mobile game addict. Still has talk.
Oh, that's so good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going into the last video of our broadcast. It's been a long one. Actually, it didn't go as long as I thought it would, so that kind of worked out a little bit. But anyway, last video of our broadcast. Small intermission, as you guys have already seen or heard, and I will see you guys yet again in just a second. Oh boy.
Go for it.
What you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting. Sound good?
Alright, that's... sounds good to me.
Tipping is
One can only hope. All right, ladies and gentlemen, last video of our broadcast. Yet again, brought to us by Burnell, DSP. Let's see here. The fight against caffeine. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. The fight against caffeine addiction continues. Old PayPal was safer. This is from January 2nd of 2021. The link will be down in the description. I'm sorry. I gotta say, that was funny. Touche, Snortburnell. Touche. What's the next one? That'll be on the next broadcast. Thank God he's declawed. Did he really say that? Thank God he was declawed. Oh, Phil, you're a scumbag if you really said that. All right, that'll be for the next broadcast. That'll be fun. That'll be fun. Thank God he was declawed. What an asshole thing to say.
preferred method of support, because tips I can immediately put to important stuff. In particular, right now is a very expensive time of the year for me. This first month of January, I end up with a lot of extra bills. A lot of extra tax bills and shit that pop up because it's the new year. It's very frustrating, but it's just life. I'm used to it, alright? But it's your support that allows me to handle that shit, right? So, tipping me right now is the best way to help, alright? I would appreciate it if you would tip me today if you could.
You're e-begging again.
Alright, so 5 hours ago, Golden Coach Cheers, so you have any food-related New Year's resolutions? Planning to go on a diet? Maybe plan all your meals every Sunday? Are you going to eat all the hot dogs? Nothing really food-related, but I am trying to detox from caffeine. I basically became very
well, wait a second. As it pertains to food related, he doesn't have a say-so in really any of that anyway, to some degree, because Catherine does all the cooking, or Fred Meyers does, or Kroger. Well, no, Kroger is the parent company, so I guess Fred Meyer, wherever she works at, they're the one that essentially does it. And the reason why I say that is because there's been a long-standing theory that more than likely she's picking up like ready-made meals that they have in like their refrigeration section. And which makes kind of sense if you think about some of the things that he says that she makes. Either that or frozen dinners, which is, I'm sure, a staple in the Burnell house because it always has been. And if you guys have really noticed, she's probably been cooking less and less. And his lack of imagination, how many things is he been cycling through? Maybe 7 to like 9 different meals. And they just kind of keep cycling through it week in, week out. If you listen closely, you kind of figure out, you'll hear what I'm talking about. And very rarely, when a new meal has been added to their repertoire, as he likes to call it, it just sounds like a derivative of something else and whatnot. And the meat's different, right? Or it has a different type of spin to it. It doesn't sound like something very thought out. And if he wasn't interested in talking about food so much, he wouldn't be entrapped, if you want to call it entrapment. He wouldn't be entrapped in stuff like in conversations like that. Jesus Christ, dude, you don't look at the Food Network? There are food apps out there if you're gonna lie, just do it well. You know what I mean? Do it well enough. Yes, she's not gonna be making filet mignon. Yes, she's not gonna be doing beef Wellington and baked Alaska. I love that shit. She's not gonna be making stuff like that. She could, but obviously she's not going to. But Jesus Christ, something better. Southwest baked chicken, right? Like baked chicken breast. Or here, Phil, let me go ahead and go with something I had last night. I had a bacon wrapped chicken breast that was stuffed with mozzarella, tomatoes, and I think it was garlic. It was like a garlic pesto and whatnot, which was really, really good. Had that over a bed of like, it was just seasoned rice. It was just yellow seasoned rice, to be honest with you. I had broccoli. It was really good. Wasn't, I mean, granted though too, I had bacon and then I had broccoli and I had cheese sauce in my broccoli too. I'll admit it. But it was good. You know what I'm saying? It was really good. You're telling me she couldn't put that together? That's not hard. It's really not hard at all. And then Phil's talking in recent, like in I'm at in this timeline. He said that they went out grocery shopping. He was chopping up vegetables for their meals for the week. And that made me think, wait a second. You're telling me that you guys pre-make your meals weeks in advance. Now, this is something that Tevin had told him to do back in like 2018 because Tevin watches streamers who like healthy, like health conscious streamers, I should say. Even though a lot more people should do this. I need to start doing it. Where they pre-make their meals in advance. It's usually easy to do it with chicken, some type of beef, whatever, rice, side of vegetables or whatever. You can put it all into a container. Really easy. Super easy to put together, right? And Phil had mentioned the other day that he was chopping up all these vegetables for their meals for the upcoming week. And at first I was thinking, well, that sounds like bullshit, because since when do you chop up vegetables? The only time that you have to do any of that, if you really think about it, I'm going to contradict myself a little bit, is when you're making your sauce. That's the only time Phil chops up vegetables for anything and whatnot. Because it would be fair to say, oh, well, what about when he's making turkey burgers, right? He says he likes lettuce, tomato, onion, so on and so forth. Yeah, he could buy a head of lettuce, or he could buy pre-peeled lettuce. He could buy pre-sliced tomatoes. The shelf life on them is a lot shorter, obviously, than a whole tomato, but that's something he could also do. And I'm sure he could do the exact same thing with onions. There's no guarantee he has to cut any of those things. And if you've ever seen Phil cut onions before, from his infamous sauce video, that'll be up on the Fight channel soon. It's not his forte. Let's just say that. It's not his forte. Maybe, just maybe, when Panda was doing all those cooking vlogs, he should have recorded those instead of the final product. Maybe, just maybe, it would have been interesting to watch Panda go through the actual cooking process, and maybe he would have learned something. Oh well. Semantics. He was too busy playing video games for his business. Right? Right? Right.
Caffeine in the last year and a half. Every day it was either have a Mio water, which is that caffeine supplement that you add with flavoring to water and you drink it, or have a coffee in the morning. And I basically found that after about a year and a half of doing this, even having the caffeine, like I had to have the caffeine just to feel functional. And that's not good. Alright? Caffeine is supposed to be, okay, I need caffeine because I'm feeling sluggish today. I need an energy boost. Now, in reality, that's not what caffeine does. For those who don't actually know, the scientific way that caffeine works, it's a chemical that blocks your body's ability or feeling to tell you you're tired. So it's not that caffeine is giving you energy. It's actually that caffeine is making you not feel the effects of being tired. You see what I'm saying? So, if you, okay, I need an energy boost. Drink it, and now you don't feel the tired, the sluggishness anymore. So maybe you feel more energetic, but in reality, you're just kind of feel normal, alright? What was happening to me was I was having so much caffeine.
Actually, to be honest with you, it's not a surprise that Phil knows that. Or Phil would come up to that conclusion. Let me say why. Back in, when he was at his condo in Connecticut, he had, I know some of you have seen the condo vlogs that he's done. He's had all kinds of caffeine infused marshmallows, gum, chewable candy, caffeine shots. He was a fiend for that shit. This is back when he had his office position at the helicopter company. He was a fiend for that shit. Like an absolute fucking fiend. So he knows exactly what that, I will to some understanding, I'm sure. He has some idea of what it is and what it isn't. You know what I'm saying? This dude's been hyped up on caffeine for years. For years. And I assume some of those same products he still uses. Now, granted, yes, he went to, I don't think he's ever drinking Red Bull or Monster. He might have, but I don't remember it. But I know he was really big on the Mountain Dew Kickstarter for a while. There was also some other energy drinks that he was scarfing down at, you know, at various times throughout his illustrious career in air quotes. But he's always been hopped up on something. Always. He's always been hopped up on something. And it's funny too that I always thought about this. Why wouldn't he just drink coffee on stream? Like, why did it always have to be before your stream? You know what I'm saying? He drank tea on stream, especially when he's sick and whatnot, but he never says, yeah, I'm sitting here with my cup of coffee or whatever. It's always a little sippy cup with water or gin or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever flavored water or whatever. And really, that flavored water situation was when he was still doing the bottle crunching thing. More clown mode stuff for you, just for any of you guys who are keeping count. Something to think about. There's plenty of streamers that I know who, or not that I know, but who I watch, I should say, who drink coffee on streams. No big deal. It's no different. You know what I'm saying? And the way Phil sips out of his sippy cup, he'll finish it before it gets he'll finish it before it gets cold. Oh well.
Cup of coffee every morning, or the Mia water every morning. If I didn't have it, I felt like actually didn't feel good, you know? Instead of getting that energy boost that you're supposed to get, I was just feeling normal after drinking it. So for me, I was like, dude, this is not good.
The problem is I've been drinking a Kickstart a day, you know, every day for like 2 years.
Actually, that's a lie too. Now I think about it. If you go back and watch some of Tevin's old streams, you can see that. He was drinking. He was going through like 2 or 3 of those a day. To be honest, he was going through like 2 or 3 Kickstarters a day. And if you go back to some of those early vlogs he did at their house in Renton in Washington, the Snort Fort, if you will. I got that video coming up soon over there at the Fight Club channel as well. He had his refrigerator. He'd have like 5 or 6 of those in there. You know what I mean? So he would have one early on in the stream, and then he would have another one for like the second stream or whatnot. Or for the weekend, or on Sundays when he used to do weekend previews. I know someone can co-sign to me on this. That he would have one for the first stream, right? Because he would have one stream, and then at night he was supposed to be spending time with Panda or whatever the case may be. And usually during the weekend preview, you would see him with another one and whatnot. And he was usually pretty good about saying what flavors he was drinking at certain times, so you kind of knew what he was drinking and what he wasn't. So just throwing that out there.
He's so used to this raving, running on caffeine through the veins, like, that now it's not in there, and now it's kind of like, gotta wake up. I would always have caffeine on the days when I work. On my day off, I wouldn't. I would wake up and I would go grocery shopping, and then my wife and I would go out and do stuff, but I wouldn't have caffeine. And those days, I'm being honest, I started to feel really bad. Like, I would wake up and
is that why it took you 45 minutes to take groceries out of the car? Does anybody remember that one? That was in 2020. I was like into 2020, where he was saying something about they went grocery shopping and it took him like 40 minutes to get all the groceries out of the car. Or did he say he left the groceries in the car for 40 minutes? I don't know. That didn't make any sense. Either way, it didn't make any sense. It sounds stupid. But at least he had his hand cart though, because Lord knows we need that. Because picking up a gallon of milk is apparently a struggle.
I just don't feel good because I didn't have caffeine today. And I was like, damn, this is not good. Like, I don't like feeling this way. Like, I don't know why I set myself up to be like this. Like, again, caffeine is something that if you absolutely need it to get an energy boost, great, but you shouldn't be like taking it every day as something regular, I don't feel.
And keep in mind, it took him years to come to that realization. And I really want, here, I'll bring it back for you guys. That small part, because it was how he said it is what really caught me. Why did I set myself up to be like this? Let's hear it. I think I went back farther enough, I hope.
Caffeine is something that if you absolutely need it to get an energy boost, great, but you shouldn't be like taking it every day as something regular, I don't feel. Okay? I set myself up to be like this. Like, again, caffeine is something that if you absolutely need it to get an energy boost, great, but you shouldn't be like taking it every day as something regular, I don't feel. Okay?
Basically this week, not only
All right, I'll leave it at that. I'm not gonna make you guys listen to it for a third time. My bad. Buggy rewind mechanics, but I'm. Yet again, you've been doing this for years though, and don't get me wrong, it's a slow burn like with any habit. But I like that one moment, brief moment, of course, but that one moment of clarity that he had. Like, why the fuck did I set myself up to do this? Like, why did I put myself in that position? I would say that was progress, but since it's few and far between, is it really? Really? No, we're not going to sit here and give him brownie points because he fucking exists. We're not doing that. He gets that enough already.
Sick, but I was detoxing from caffeine. Okay, and you may not realize this. I drink at least one Kickstart a day. Usually it's just one. So usually it's one, but that's a big jolt of caffeine that I usually have every morning when I start streaming.
Keyword usually. Which really just co-signs back to what I said. Because come on, Phil. Come on, Phil. Like, not everybody has a short fucking memory about stuff like that.
So I didn't have that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I didn't have it today. That's 6 days I didn't have caffeine. So my body's detoxing from that, and it's like a double whammy because not only am I sick, but now it's probably also having withdrawals from having no caffeine that I'm used to getting that in the morning. Okay.
So, I decided this week to wean myself off of caffeine. So, that's what I'm doing, and it's tough. I'm gonna be honest, it's tough. I start to feel like a craving for it some days. Like, oh man, it's just my routine. Let me just make a coffee. No, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna tough it out. It's so when your body becomes used to a substance, almost dependent on a substance, your body just makes you want to think that you need it, man. You need it. You need that caffeine. Man.
It sounds. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to make light of addiction or anything. I'll make light of his. I'm not to say that I'm making light of addiction or anything, but it sounds more of a habit, which is what an addiction is. It's just a habit. It's just something that you're used to doing and whatnot. Like people who like go out for a smoke, like who smoke after like a large meal or some shit like that. It's something that you've developed over the years, and whatever the case may be. But he doesn't need to make this shit sound like he getting himself off of fucking coke or something. Like, it's not that serious. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like Catherine comes in and sees him in the shower, in a cold shower, like, you know, scrunched up against one corner, sitting shaking. It's not like that. Stop. It's not that serious.
No, I don't need it. Alright? So I'm working on it. In the last week, only one day did I have any caffeine, and that was actually my day off, because my wife and I had ordered breakfast from somewhere. And so, with breakfast, I had iced coffee. And that was good, because it actually gave me the energy for the rest of the day that I needed to kind of run around and do the shit that I needed to do. But that's kind of what I'm working on.
And that's another thing, too, right? Like, this whole thing about, I think in my timeline, he's been, in the recent timeline, let's say that, in my timeline. I'm a detractor from the future. But in the current timeline, he makes a big fuss, if you will, about the fact that, oh, you know, on my day off, me and Catherine go out for breakfast and all that. We already knew that. That's a habit you've been doing with Panda, you know, back in her heyday. So this is nothing new. Like, this is nothing new at all. As a matter of fact, it's not just breakfast. They literally go out to eat all day. You know what I'm saying? They go off to this. If he's still going to the same place, which I think they should have reopened. It's a diner that's like right around the way. It's like 15 minutes from his spot, and he loves going there because he's hyped up the food a bunch of times and shit. But when the pandemic started, he started to get. Remember when he started to get really fussy and whatnot, really bitchy about how you know, places need to start opening back up because how are they going to stay open and how it's going to wreck their businesses. He was talking about places like this, but there's a breakfast spot that's like 15 minutes or some shit. It's like right around the way and whatnot. And then lunch, they're probably grabbing like Chick-fil-A or Taco Bell or whatever, and then they get dinner. And then you kind of have to co-sign to the fact that, well, what about that theory that was going around that maybe he sends Catherine out to do all of the shopping and everything, and he doesn't go with her? If I had to chime in on that, maybe just not every week. You know, not every week he goes out with her to do all of that shopping and whatever. But that doesn't mean that he doesn't have her bring food home, you know, on top of whatever grocery shopping or whatever else. And let's think about this practically. How many errands does he really need to run? He pays all of his bills online. He's admitted to this. There's nothing that he really needs to go out and get unless Catherine needs some peripherals or whatever the case may be. And if you remember, most of the grocery stores are like within 10, 15 minutes. Actually, one of the major stores that he goes to is 10 minutes away from his cul-de-sac, or from his neighborhood, I should say. Everything else is, the only thing that he really has to venture out for, I don't know if it's a Sam's or if it's a Costco. I can't remember. It might be Costco. Because I feel like someone asked him if he likes the Swedish meatballs they have there. And I think he said he's never tried it. So we're going to say Costco. And I think someone maybe even have said, had inquired, does he like the chicken there too? Like the roasted chicken. And I think he said they couldn't do it because it was too far and he wants the food to be hot, which makes sense, to be honest. And he says like a 40-minute drive or whatever the case may be. So I'm thinking it's Costco. But outside of going out there to go ahead and pick up stuff, they don't really go far. So that whole day out really isn't the whole day out, ladies and gentlemen. It's a couple hours. It's a couple hours. And as of late, they've been ordering food in. So who knows how much shopping are they really doing? And whatever shopping they are doing, I promise you, it's to the grocery store that's literally across the street. They're not going far. It's not like he goes to this store to get a few things. He goes to this store to get a few things. He goes to this store. No, he's too lazy for that. He's too lazy for that. If this store is right here, he'll make do with whatever they have. Unless he's going to look for his fucking ingredients for his Kool-Aid sauce. Then he may have to go somewhere for this particular type of tomato that goes into the piggy void after a while. Or canned tomato, sorry. Just to keep that 100.
That's how I want to handle it, is basically have it so that when I need it, I take it, but I don't have it every day. It's not going to be, a crutch for me. It's not going to be something that I'm constantly doing. Instead, it's going to be, when I need the energy, let's get that energy, but, that's how I'll control it. Okay?
Wait a second, then you're not winging it off. And also, you're enabling yourself. This is the reason why, if you guys watch any of Tevin streams, praise be, that's the reason why Amber Lynn Reed's at where she's at. And in a lot of ways, the reason why Chantel's where she at, too. If you're trying to get yourself off of something, not everybody has the will and the discipline to go cold turkey. I understand that. Don't get me wrong. Not everybody has the discipline and the will, not discipline, but more the willpower to break something cold turkey. I get that. But if you're gonna stop something like caffeine, right? Outside, I mean, granted, Cat's not fucked up, I would assume, so she can basically keep doing whatever she wants. You need to completely remove yourself from that situation as best you can, within practicality. I'm not saying he needs to hide every piece of caffeine-related items in his home. What I'm saying is the idea of, oh, I'm trying to take myself off of it, but it's there if I need it, then you're not beating it. You're not beating your habit. Eventually, you'll just come up with reasons on why you need it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I had a bad night last night, or I had a rough night sleeping last night, or whatever. Let me just take one to wake up. I really need it for the stream, and so on and so forth. You do that for a day on Monday, for example. Tuesday's off, whatever. Wednesday, he might be all right. Oh, well, I'm feeling kind of sluggish. Let me go ahead and get a coffee and whatnot. Bam. Now he's doing that on Thursday. And he's just going to progressively go back into the exact same habit. If you're going to cut it off, if you're cut it from the cord, or let's reword that. If you're going to unplug yourself from that situation, right, then you got to completely extract yourself from that situation. You can't just, it's not a matter of, oh, it's there if I need it. It's just, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to use this. I don't need this. That's how you actually do it. Not say, oh, it's there if I need it. That's what makes it a crutch. Just like with your pay pigs. You're supposedly working hard, right? But if I need help, I can ask for that help because you guys are right there. Well, then you're not really putting your best foot forward when you have people there that they're going to catch you. Right? If you're already dependent on that. If you're already prompting these people to, hey guys, I'm going to put my best foot forward, but if things don't work, I need you guys to come through. Then you're not really putting your best foot forward. Because you're already prompting them, if you will. Pre-recording excuses, as other people like to call it. You're already prompting people to get ready to step in to try to help you. Or be ready to help you, I should say. So you're not helping your situation. You're only making it worse.
Yeah, that's how I'm gonna handle it, guys. And you know, that's really the only change I've made. I'm not making any changes to my diet, like food eating and stuff, but you know, to drinking and caffeine intake, absolutely I am. Okay, that's what I'm doing. So there you go.
And they threw money at him like crazy. And then finally, like a scam artist, he danced around stream like a preacher. And hallelujah, the money's coming in. Hallelujah. And then at the end of the stream, all he did was say that he had a cat.
Thank you. Okay, continuing on. Elon Frogachers, I know you're looking for mods for the night shift.
I mean,
can I put
that's exactly what happened. That's kind of exactly what happened. I mean, a lazy preacher, a very, very lazy preacher, but that's exactly what it was. You went ahead and gave all these people essentially pig grease and whatnot. You sold them on an idea that still didn't even come into fruition. Yes, you showed off Jasper. Because he sold the concept of Jasper. Sorry, I'll try to be brief. I will legitimately try to be brief. He tried to sell the idea that, hey, I'm going to reveal this thing to you. It's going to help improve the streams. It's going to help all these different things and whatever, right? It's going to be better overall for everybody, for the content and so on and so forth. And then, he unveils Jasper. Now, I don't know about you guys, but you know what I'm saying, as someone who tries to turn a negative into a positive, all the outbursts that Jasper has had has been fucking absolutely entertaining. And I can't wait for the day that he pushes that TV over. The only thing I worry about, actually, is I worry that Jasper will end up tilting the TV over and somehow it's going to fall back on him. That's going to suck. I don't want that. But if he pushes that shit over and you got to see Phil get up and he knocks the fucking laptop over and he ends up fucking breaking his fucking, whatever, his headset, like cable or whatever, and then he tries to catch the TV and he ends up tripping and falling and shit, and like, that's just going to be hilarious. I'm looking forward to that. And I don't even want Phil to be hurt. I just want to see Phil scramble. That's what I want to see. And we've all seen Phil mentally try to scramble, but now now in real time we get to see him physically try to do it. And that's just going to be hilarious because his reaction time in IRL is just as bad as it is in the more digital landscapes. And you guys are going to get to see it. And that shit is going to be funny. It's going to be hilarious. And now that I bring that up, Hypothetical Pignosis, our favorite game, and the first one for the year. If that TV breaks, I'm not worried about what he's going to do to Jasper, because he's not going to do anything. He's going to be mad. He's going to be big mad. But he ain't going to do anything to Jasper, because that's Catherine's. Catherine will fuck him up if he fucks up Jasper. So I'm not worried about Jasper's safety as it pertains to that. But the question is, how long will Phil sit there and try to stream IRL streams until he gets a brand new television? That's the real question. Is Phil gonna lie and say, oh, well, I don't have any money to do anything, but this was a business expense and I had to buy a new television, and he scrambles the money himself? Or would he sit there and wait a week? Let's say a week. Let's say, fuck it, a week. Let's say, will Phil wait 5 days and see if someone either orders him a brand new TV or gives him, or does he sit there and try to raise $1,000 to get a new television? That's what I want to know. And if you remember, according to pig lore, that television was purchased by somebody else for him too. The television and the PS4 Pro. But then there was some type of retconning of that, or he got caught in a lie on some of that. I'll go back and look, but there's also that situation as well. So just keep that in mind, because that right there will be an interesting tidbit for the future.
English frogs name into the hat for a promotion? No. Rob on Wheels did a 500-bit cheer. What's going on, Rob? He said, I didn't think you could set up PayPal without a bank account. Shows what I know. Oh, dude. See, back in the day, that's true. And I can tell you this. I could vouch for that. Way back when, in the early to mid-2000s, when I used to be a tournament organizer for Street Fighter, I had to set up my PayPal account. It was the first time I ever had a PayPal account.
Wait, didn't he say that people could contribute to him without a PayPal account? Right, because, yeah, actually he did. Because he said that they could use a credit card, they could use a debit card, or they could use PayPal. That's how he propagated that shit. Remember? That was back in that was only a couple years ago. Not even a couple years ago. That was definitely after he got off Muggsy. He was saying that if you want to contribute, you don't need a PayPal account. You can use a credit card. You can use a debit card. Which is what ended up propagating us to the situation we're in now. Sorry. I just wanted to verify that.
Payments digitally over the internet. Okay? And when I did so, absolutely, I had to put in so much information. Back then, PayPal was literally looked upon as a bank account. Like, that's how it was treated, as a bank account. So you had to have your name, your address, your phone number, your bank account info. And on top of that, what they made you do, they would send you, like, a couple cents. Okay? Yeah, they would send you a couple, a few pennies into your bank account, and then what you would do is you would send them back a message saying, I got the deposit, it's like 3 cents. And that was how they would verify your identity. It was that serious. Like, you couldn't use PayPal unless you did all that shit. It was that serious of a thing. Today,
I mean, that shit was just as much to protect you as it was to protect them. You know what I'm saying? So, like, those are the type of safeguards that a business takes, to be honest. So, especially with people being kicked off of Patreon, PayPal, and other, like, situations like that, you should be so glad. Because if it wasn't for some type of verification like that, someone would have gotten into Phil's PayPal account years ago. Years ago, they'd have gotten into that bitch if it wasn't for those type of safeguards or those type of steps that needed to be taken. He should be so glad. He really should.
Seriously, you could use Express Checkout, and you don't have to put in a fucking piece of information at all. You could use a stolen credit card. You could punch a granny in the face, you know, and open her purse and, you know, and put her credit card number right in there, and there, immediately it would work. It's fucked up how everything's became so loose and non-secure. Seriously. It's stupid as hell. I mean, you would think there should be protections. There's like nothing. Anyone can just fuck with you now on the internet. And that's why I'm telling you, setting up that verified account adds such an awesome layer of protection, because if someone tries to screw you over, let's say, for example, a hater or a troll actually set up a verified account on PayPal, okay? And then they send me a tip, and they're like, fuck you, Phil, and fuck your family, and blah, blah. And then they try to charge it back. They don't have a leg to stand on. They don't. Because it's a verified account, all the real info's in there, and all I have to do is say to PayPal, here's the information, guys. This guy was a troll on my stream. He insulted me and my family. Here's the message. I can even link you the video. Here's where it happened. And you have all the person's real-life information. You know, what kind of a piece of shit this guy is trying to commit fraud. And they immediately shut that shit down. Those are the chargebacks.
No. It can't work like that. Well, it could work like that, but I don't think it does. I was hoping that he said, oh, well, then I can just send them all of the information that I have on my end, and then they'll go ahead and it proves it. But he stopped just short of saying that he had your personal information, and he said they have all your personal information. Whether my account is verified or not, if I make the claim that I didn't get something for a donation or whatever the case may be, and if they side with me, they side with me. It doesn't me having a verified PayPal account doesn't put me at a disadvantage if I chose to troll Phil. It just doesn't work that way. Because if that was the case, then why the fuck would I verify my account? I would just stay unverified and then that was it. That doesn't make any sense. And matter of fact, if you sidestep all of that, if people were able to allegedly, air quotes, be able to send him troll tips through debit cards and credit cards, which is why he's forcing them to go through PayPal in the first place, you having a verified PayPal account wouldn't change anything. The only reason why he's pushing for this is because he believes that he can win all of the chargebacks. But let's jump back to 2017 or 2018. He said that anytime someone tries to send him a tip, that PayPal always sides with him. But the King Tut situation proves otherwise. It proves otherwise all day. The thing with Mort that happened in early 2017 doesn't mean anything, because Mort purposely sent small tips and made him 2 months later fight for each and every one of them. So for Mort, he got his money's worth. You know, he didn't care. He did it that way on purpose because he wanted to see and hear Phil bitch and struggle about it. For King Tut, or Tutmosis, whatever, I believe honestly he won. Even if Phil was able to keep some of the money, or Tut got all of his money back, which is possible. It's certainly very possible Tut got all his money back. Tut's method of going through credit cards completely fucked Phil over. And Phil tried to deny that shit for the longest time until more and more people did it. And the credit card company will always side with you over that bullshit. You've seen that on Twitch, where you have so many streamers who said that someone sent them a $5,000 tip and then that shit got charged back like a day or two later. The credit card company will almost always side with you. Always. Because you are their priority. Not them. Not them. So more often than not, they will always side with you. That's why Phil has to go through this pathetic attempt with PayPal and the verification. That's no more safe than it was with the credit cards. It's really not, because PayPal is not going to alienate one customer for another, and Phil has a history of problems when it comes to payment processing on their platform. I will be completely and totally honest with you. I'm surprised. That's all I'm saying here. I'm not advocating for this or anything, but I'm surprised that PayPal hasn't kicked him off their platform. He's not worth the trouble. He's really not. Like Streamlabs and Muggsy, they may not give a shit, but I'm surprised that PayPal has not, you know what I'm saying, X'd that shit out. And more importantly, Phil, we already know Phil has a second confirmed PayPal account, and he might possibly have a third. So why do you have all these safeguards in place? And because of that second PayPal account that no one knows about except for the most exclusive of fucking whales or or, you know, the big pay pigs or whatever. I mean, how much money do you have going through there? How much money do you have going through there that you're not telling us about? And more importantly, since the trolls know about that second PayPal account through the bankruptcy, even though it was speculated he had it before that, how many chargebacks have you gotten through that you didn't talk about or you haven't disclosed? Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, if you think about it and you start putting shit together, it sounds flimsy. It sounds flimsy as shit. And like I said, the third PayPal account is just, it's not really known. Oh, and for anybody who's asking, the second PayPal account was actually confirmed before the bankruptcy. That PayPal account, the second one, I think it's like DSPGAMING, or yeah, it's like DSPGAMING at like hotmail.com or some shit like that. That was confirmed during the statue saga, the whole I'll send you $9,000 to help you out for your taxes saga. It's all around that period of time. That's when that was when all of that came out, because whoever it was, Super Meat Boy or whoever, allegedly, that was orchestrating that, Phil gave him a PayPal account that wasn't the same PayPal account that he was known for, meaning where he was getting all the donations and everything through since 2008, 2009, which another thing people forget, that Phil's been collecting donations through PayPal since like 2008, 2009. So keep that in mind too. Way before he could monetize his content. Something.
100% of.
Oh my god, this shocks me.
So that's what I mean. You have that verified account, it completely protects me from any kind of malicious activities. See?
Oh my god, he's drinking gin.
But the moment that you have that anonymous checkout shit, where you can go, oh, an anonymous credit card, unverified information, that's where they can charge back and you don't have any defense against it, you know? And it's funny because until this year, or last year now, I forget it's 2021. Until last year, I won the vast majority of chargebacks because most people would be trying to do their real credit card information or their real bank account information, and they would try to charge you back and lie, and I would just give PayPal all the information. I would win every chargeback. But then it was last year where this guy, this nut job, started buying stolen credit card numbers off the internet and using them to tip me fakely, and everyone was like, oh my god, I can't believe this guy's committing a felony every time he does this. This guy could go to jail for the rest of his fucking life if he were ever caught. That's how serious this situation is. So, I don't know. You tell me how crazy these people are. But anyway, yeah, it's pretty easy to do fraud on the internet these days. It's pretty fucked up, but yeah, it's pretty damned easy. So,
but here, yet again, it comes back to what I said earlier on about it's still his fault, because if the whole shit looked shaky, you could have just let it go. And yet again, that same year that, you know, whoever was going around committing all this fraud by all these stolen credit cards, he knew some of that shit looked off. He knew some of that shit looked off, but the dollar amounts, the dollar amounts were so enticing that he couldn't let it go. And even if it turned out to be, you know, a fake one, or whatever the case may be, or from a stolen credit card, or whatever fucking propaganda he's spewing out, he still tried to fight it to keep the money. So let me impress this on you for a minute. You know that this allegedly, you know this particular person is using stolen credit card numbers to troll you on your streams. You know this, allegedly. I don't know how he knows this. It's really more an assumption than anything, but whatever, he knows. There are people out there that are being victimized. There are people who went to bed knowing that they were fine financially, and wake up and now they have overdrafts and whatnot, or whatever the case may be, because their credit card ends up getting leaked. You yourself bitch and complain about overdrafts all through 2017, well, most of 2017, but mainly 2018, 2019. So you know what it's like to be put in a bad financial situation, yet you're still trying to fight for the very money that you know that doesn't belong to you, that you know that's being taken from somebody else. You're still fighting to keep that money, though. So you're okay with that. You're saying, oh, it's a felony. How can they live with themselves? Fucking crazy, mentally ill, yada, yada, yada. Are you not mentally ill for sitting there trying to take advantage of a situation? Which, if it happened to you, you'd be screaming bloody murder. Someone's going to wake up tomorrow, allegedly, someone's going to wake up tomorrow and not have bills to cover, or not have the money to cover whatever. Groceries, gas, or whatever the case may be. So how sick are you? How sick are you to sit there and accept money that you know, apparently he knows, you know, with this amazing bit of clairvoyance, right? That you know for sure is stolen. Like, where does personal accountability come with that? Where's your morals at when it comes to this? If the person who allegedly is doing it is sick, then you're sick too. If you're trying to fight for it, why would you fight for stolen money? Something to think about.
There's still this back here. And it's still in the back of my neck, the back of my head, the back of my mind, and it's always telling me it's WWE Champions time. I love it. I love it. Is a mobile game addict. Phil has indoctrinated children who send him money, blatantly milking for money. It's a money pit. It's gone, just gone like that. In an instant, fucking gone. I just care about money. I just can't help it. I eBay. Contributions are mandatory, but I need your help. I am appealing directly to you. No decency, no respect, no common sense, no fucking maturity. Is the guy who just doesn't get reality.
Oh boy. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. All right, ladies and gentlemen, give me a second to straighten up, and we will reconvene for final thoughts, and I will let you guys go. Mistakes were made. Mistakes were made, but it's okay. I can fix this. Kind of, sort of. All right, guys. I'll see you in just a second. Alright. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So, what do we make of all this? Let's see here. First off, thank you very much to Snort Burnell. I very much appreciate it. Very much appreciate it. And like I said, the links will be down in the description. The caffeine addiction is hilarious. Old PayPal was safer. He set himself up for failure, to be honest with you. And that goes back to that moment of clarity thing I was telling you about. Starting the year with maximum toxicity, thousands of excuses in Street Fighter, changing the vest. You fucked them on the vest thing, but you've been fucking, but more importantly, you're fucking yourself over on that vest thing, because you're just giving people a reason to feel deterred and not help you with the vest streak. The excuses in Street Fighter, that's a normal day in the life. Beginning of the year, trying to be positive and actually being a piece of human garbage, it's just part of, that's part of the ride through Goutopia. That's nothing new. Let's see, his aim and lack of reflexes in Call of Duty. Yet again, it's the same shit every year. The last Call of Duty that I could honestly say that he was probably good at, not even good at, you could at least say he was worth a damn, was that Black Ops 4? when Battle Royale was introduced or whatever, or was that Black Ops 3? I think probably it's 4, but that was probably his best one, and he spent the majority of the time just hanging out in the bathroom. The multiplayer, he was garbage, but at least in the Battle Royale, he did all right. So, to be honest, and someone should tell him, just go back and play the old Call of Duties, because the new ones isn't really, like I said, the game's dead. The game's dead. So, what's the point? And we're not even in, like, they haven't even hit the first round of DLCs yet, I don't think. Whatever. Anyway, like I said, the game's dead. As far the game's dead. So it is what it is. Taking precautions against the fake tips. Yet again, he's only screwing himself over. The rant in the middle of the motivational speech. He doesn't know how to do a motivational speech anyway. The guy cannot motivate himself. What would make you think he could motivate anybody else? And yet again, pocketing troll money and the buggy mic mechanics. At the end of the day, yet again, this, if nothing else, and this has already been proven by other detractors, he's not returning these people's money. He's keeping it. Flat out, he's keeping it. He may say that he's returning it, but he's not. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to, anything that is given to him, he's going to fight for. Whether it's $1, whether it's $500. He's not going to let it go. And why not? He has nothing else. This is all he has, ladies and gentlemen. He does not have a goddamn thing else that he can do. So, sorry, if he's not fighting for this, I don't know what else I don't know what reason does he have to really exist, to be honest. So, that's what the situation is. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this was the first broadcast of the year. Kind of rough. Hope they get back into the swing of things as time goes on. Yet again, they will be long formatted like this until we get caught up. I am very adamant about trying to go through January and try to go the whole way through. Burnell's work ethic is fucking legendary, as you guys know, so it's a lot to try to keep up on, but I also feel like it's pretty that the beginning of the year for Phil was rather interesting, and not that I hope, but I hope to show the missteps that he made in 2020 will later translate into 2021 or into our current year. And like I said, it's going to take a little bit of time to do that. I will point out what I feel is relevant or what I catch. I'm not going to catch everything, but it'll be fun nonetheless, and that's kind of what I'm shooting for, to be honest, because I missed so much of the Snort Report in 2020 that I'd like to try to put my best foot forward this year, despite some of the other things I have going on and other projects, if you will, that I want to try to do for the channel and as YouTube as a whole. In any case, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening in. I very much appreciate it. And I'll see you guys for the next broadcast, whenever that may be, hopefully sooner than later. This is DSP News. This is the Snort Report. Welcome to Goutopia. You know how it all works. Take care of yourselves, guys. I'll see you later.